I'm debating on where I put this. Should I just put this over here? All right. There we go. What? All right. Put your phone on phasers. Right on. Key. I feel like this microphone's imposing. All right. We'll give her a couple minutes because she's in back. I feel like I'm blind without my glasses. Are we live?
Yeah.
All right. We're live in Las Vegas. Welcome back to another edition of Black Ice Reality Check, where the screen goes black. We have a special guest tonight, and she'll be showing up here any second. She's in the powder room. But we're getting the technical stuff worked out. We're at the Sticky Paw Studios in Las Vegas. So if you're interested in doing a podcast and you come to Las Vegas or you live in Las Vegas, make sure you go to Sticky Paws Studios. It's on the south of the 215 behind the UFC fighting facility. And come into the podcast facility and ask about rates and how to get your podcast started. These guys will help you out. Shout out to John Orlando, the owner, and Travis Scott, the white version, who run the studio. So, again, if you're interested in a podcast, come down to Sticky Paws in Las Vegas, or even if you come in and you're here on a trip, you want to try it out, come down to the studio. So we're going live, and welcome back. It is Wednesday. What's the date today, by the way?
One second.
I lose track of dates now.
It is the
6th?
Yes.
6th of December, coming up on Christmas.
Hey, how did Colorado do?
Colorado didn't do good, man. I lost $100. And then he had the audacity to play the Rocky Mountain High music by John Denver on the reel, just to grind it in there a little bit. So, good deal. What did we learn? Hey, don't play this in the waiting room. Yeah, take it off. Because I said so. Is he? He's not on till 8. Oh. Well, I don't care. I don't care about that. Hey, I got a question for you, Techie. Come here. Come and see here, Bitter.
No, me? You gotta pay me to come on camera.
No, come on. You got your hat. You got your.
Yeah, in case of this reason.
Do you know how you see this part of your live chat?
Yeah.
You know the back end that's black. How do you get to that?
Are you logged into your YouTube right now?
Yeah. Isn't there a back end version?
Yes.
That's what I thought.
Click this one right here.
Oh,
There you
okay,
go.
okay, got
That'll
it.
be $38.97.
38.97. Right on, man. All right, we got 2 current viewers. Okay, got it. Thank you, brother. Bree, you're late. Let's go. She's in the green room getting her makeup and hair and massage done with a happy ending. And you still got to get your mic set. Say that louder. We'll wait for more people to log on. I got my glasses so I can see the super chats. When people send me $1,000 super chats. Hey, what's the biggest super chat you got, brother?
Like cost?
Yeah.
$20, I think.
I think it was $20.
It was actually from somebody who was on the show. Like a previous episode just came on the live.
What?
Yeah, the guy I interviewed beforehand came on a live that I was on. Like, they just super chatted $20.
Wow, that's cool. I don't get super chats anymore. I'm not as popular as you.
I don't get that. Last time I got a super chat before then was like 3 months before that.
I don't.
It took me 6 months to monitor or to cash out for the first time on YouTube.
I think that's better than me.
I advertised in May. This month will be good.
I think you did better than I did. I know your TikTok does better than me.
Yeah, it's just because I abuse.
Thanks, guys. We're going live. We're a little behind, but we're waiting for Bree. So,
It's okay.
yeah, you're doing better than me on TikTok, brother.
Appreciate it. I'll send Bree in.
All right, send her in. All right, thanks for being patient, guys. We're always running a little bit behind. We wait for people to log on. Sometimes they get their notifications. They're not by the computer and whatnot. I know I shouldn't have drank this energy drink. God dang it. I'm coughing. There she is.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Did you give him your IG?
Oh, no. Here, do you want me to put it down?
Wow.
My Mexican coffee here. Hold on.
What's Mexican coffee?
Coffee, like black coffee with a shot of tequila. Highly recommend if you're having a day. You know what I mean?
Black coffee with a shot of tequila is called Mexican coffee?
I think so. It's instead of an Irish coffee.
What's an Irish coffee?
Coffee with liquor in it, but like not. I feel like it's rum. It's not. It's definitely not tequila.
I'm gonna have to ask my girlfriend that. She's Mexican. I'm gonna have to ask her what Mexican coffee is. She probably doesn't even know what that is.
I doubt I invented it, but I guess anything is possible. Can you read my show?
All right, we got some folks waiting. We're gonna go here in a minute.
Okay.
Does he get make sure he types it right? He'll have it all backwards.
What? Oh my.
Wait for him to put it up. Yeah, go ahead and have a seat. You're good. In the hot seat.
In the hot.
You don't need headphones.
Me? I never use headphones. I have like kazoo. Remember My Favorite Martian, that little alien that wore the giant helmet? Like when that's
Yeah.
what I wear.
Like Marvin Martian.
That's how I feel. Yeah, I'm like.
I'm gonna kill you with my professional laser gun. Rabbit. That guy?
Yeah.
Marvin Martian.
Is that who it was?
Yeah, the little
Helmet?
the guy with the helmet. Yeah, the guy with the helmet that chased Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck around and on the planets in the cartoon Warner Brothers.
Yeah. That's how I feel.
Yeah, Marvin. I'm gonna call you Marvin Martian. Welcome.
Are we on?
We've been on.
Oh, okay.
They saw you changing and everything.
Oh, God.
That's on the other site. That's on your private site.
I've never done. Wait, so is it insulting to call this a red pill podcast? Sorry, guys. Is this insulting to call it a red pill podcast?
Not really. I think I left the red pill a while ago. I'm more like outside of the matrix. Like the red pill, I don't fit in any box.
So
People call me red pill.
Okay.
Make sure that mic's closer though.
Closer?
You can pull it.
They said 6 to 8 inches.
Is that average?
Yeah, I was gonna say that's what they tell me. So I'm like, oh, do I have to measure in, out, in, out? Am I
That's
close?
so
I don't
funny.
know.
I think for men, that is one of the most worrisome things for men is their penis large enough? Because porn, you see these porn stars are hung like horses, right?
Right.
Man, you're like, my God, dude, where are you from? And then like the average guy is what, 6 inches, 5.5 inches, I think is the average.
Is that the average?
And so, but you hear everybody say, oh, I'm 6'9", 12 inches, right? It's like,
Yeah.
dude, come on. So for men, that's men's biggest fear sexually, is that their penis isn't big enough.
See, and I feel like there's like more of a premium placed on women's looks when it comes to sex. I generally feel that way. But here is the one difference is that for a woman, almost all of our features, we can modify them if we wanted to, right? You can get
I can't get any taller.
right, yeah,
So-
and you can't make your dick bigger. So it's men are kind of stuck.
there is some ways to do that I am hearing now that I don't know, but
Do they involve witchcraft? Like, what are these like
I don't-
scientific ways?
dude, I have no idea. I'm fine. I don't need to but I've heard that there's techniques that you can use to make your penis larger as a man.
I don't know, dude. That sounds risky. That sounds risky to me. Like,
Yeah.
if it's not, like they haven't even perfected the BBL yet, like penis enhancement. That's
It's not a
gonna be
BBL
like,
anymore.
what is it?
MBL,
What's that?
Mexican butt lift.
What is that real? Are you being serious right now?
Yeah, they go to Mexico. They don't go to Brazil anymore.
Oh, hell no.
It started in Brazil.
Yeah.
But it's cheaper and they actually have, like, my dentist is in Mexico. They're like high end. I went down there to Mexico.
Would you
and-
do the veneers?
No, I did my veneers in Seattle, but I'm going to redo them. I did them back when I was like, don't go super white, whatever. But anyways, I went to, I go to my dentist in Mexico and they say, oh, who told you needed a crown? I'm like, first thing I said was that motherfucker. And she's like, excuse me, por favor. Like, she's, no, not you. Cause her assistant spoke English. She didn't. But she showed me. She's like, no, senor, you don't need a crown. So my dentist in Mercer Island, we call it Jewish Island in Seattle.
Okay.
It's pretty much like Jewish high end. I'm not being anti-Semitic here, just for disclosure.
No, they do well for themselves. I mean,
But
God bless.
yeah, but they told me I needed to get this crown, and of course, dental insurance doesn't cover anything but your. But as soon as you feel a little bit of pain, then you better go in, because if not, it's going to go way down. You got to have a root canal, all that crap. So
Plus, I feel like unless you live in like Britain, like teeth is like a deal breaker. Not that you have to have perfect teeth, but if you have like janky, like Austin Powers teeth, like you could be
yeah, baby.
like right? Like I'm like to think of any like really. I'm trying to think if there's like any wealthy people, with the exception of like 70s rock stars where you can get away with a lot, that had bad teeth that really made it. Like who? Can you think of one?
I don't know. I'm
Off the
sure
top of your
there
head?
is, but when you go to Brazil and Colombia, like Brazil has some of the best dentists in the world. In fact, the dentists here go to Brazil to learn, and you go to Colombia and you go to Colombia, you go to Brazil,
Mm-hmm.
everybody's got perfect teeth, and it's not like here you need veneers, right? There it's like, it's like kids with braces here. It's just normal, so they just boom put braces on you. It's like cheap.
They're like so ahead of the curve when it comes to aesthetics, like the Brazilians specifically. Like the shit that we're doing now and like whitewashing is things that they've been doing. Like now it's like lymphatic drainage massage, but in Brazil you've never heard of this, like body sculpting. And now we're like, it's like all the white people are doing it, so we've like renamed it and pretended like we invented it. But in reality, in Brazil, they've been doing it for forever. Like they have spas in Brazil that instead of getting like your hair and your makeup done, you get your body done. So you get like a lymphatic drainage massage, and it like sculpts you out. So now it's becoming popular in the States, but they've been doing it for decades. I stole it from them.
I think women are going to know more about that than guys. Like we're like
What?
the drainage. What did you call
Dudes
it?
do it too.
What does it do?
It like gets rid of like all the water and toxins in your system, so you look more svelte. So like if you were gonna go on vacation, you really want it to look cut up, you can go get a massage, like get all that water weight, get all that shit out of your system, and everything.
You know how
looks nice and
bodybuilders
tight.
do that?
Like not.
No,
eating and drinking or
no,
oh.
they drink vodka and coffee the night before they go to bed. It dries you out.
That's like me every night, but I feel like that's not really special either. Like they're not inventing that, So I feel like,
Hey, we didn't even introduce you.
oh, I know.
Hey, this is okay, guys. We're starting. I guess we've been bullshit. No, this is good.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want you to come on here and feel like I'm coming at you, because that's not my point. And I think there's a lot of misconception about what I do on my podcast. And so, but before I start, guys, welcome to the podcast. Make sure you like, follow, share, subscribe to this channel. Welcome to another episode of Black Ice Reality Check. I'm your host, Black Ice, and we have Bree Hunter in the house.
Yeah.
Comedian, podcaster, entertainer,
Yeah, I guess
outspoken.
glamour, like D-list glamour model, because it's like not an important model, but I do the
Well, every girl models now.
exactly. I do like the cheesecake stuff. Like I don't do the hardcore stuff, but it's also more than like Instagram friendly stuff. I'm like right in the middle.
Yeah, that's weird, because let's talk about that, because Instagram has some stuff on there like, you're like, wait a minute, they let that on Instagram, and if I put like somebody doing a posing routine in a bikini, they strike it.
Oh yeah, no, I'm in the doghouse with Instagram. So you're talking to the wrong person. They don't like anything I do. So
But you have what do you got, 16K followers?
around there, like a little over 14, yeah. But they
So you started a YouTube podcast, and you're on Instagram. Did you put her Instagram up there? Guys, make sure
Trey
you
is
follow,
on it.
subscribe to her Instagram and YouTube. She's a podcaster. Are you from New Jersey?
I am from New Jersey, yes.
Okay, when did you move out here?
3.5 months ago.
Wow. So what made you decide to just get up and go?
I feel like it was kind of a mix of like having nothing to lose, needing a change, and there being opportunities here. So I was just I got to a point in New Jersey where like nothing was happening for me, and I met the guys at Sticky Paws, and they were like, "Come out here and do a podcast." And I'm a big UFC fan. I cover it.
You cover UFC in what way? How do you cover it? Like,
I do so like I started out doing comedy, then I went to podcasting. So when I first got into UFC, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do fight recaps, but I'm gonna do it like in a joking way. So every time I'm gonna basically create a stand-up routine after every single fight card based on the fights, and that's gonna be my review, which I thought people would enjoy because it was different than people who were just straight analyzing. Like there's tons of that, right? And people who are doing it a lot better than I could ever do. So I'm like, all right, let me take this, put my own spin on it. and kind of provide people with something they don't already have. And it did really well, like right off the bat. So I was like, all right, I'm going to stick with this.
And you've been doing that still, right?
Yeah, I took a little bit of a hiatus when I went back to New Jersey, but I'm getting back into it now that I'm here. And it's good. I think the only problem is I like now Nina Marie Danielle, like she's great. She's the girl that does all the stuff for UFC now. You never seen her? Like long brown hair, pretty. She does all the skits. She was like a big, not like a TikToker, but she did a lot of short content stuff.
I've probably seen her before, but I'm bad with names. So
yeah, so she's been doing her thing, and I think she's great. But I guess like some people have some pushback on that kind of content, as they feel like it's not because we're not doing like serious journalist work. It kind of demeans the sport.
Yeah, but you know what? It doesn't matter. Like there's always going to be people that don't like your content.
Right.
And you want haters. I feel like I don't have enough. The more haters you got, it helps your algorithm.
Oh, I don't know. You say that now. I've had some haters.
But here's the difference. Women, generally, podcasters read all their comments.
Yeah.
We don't. I check to make sure there's nothing. Like I caught something that was up for 4 days that was beyond reasonable. A comment that was, it's like, whoa.
Like character, like damaging your character type thing.
That wasn't even true. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like just somebody with a hidden, I've been called names, whatever. I don't care. Like I've been called worse, right? But when it got personal, like, wait a minute, that's false. And that's very, very bad what you said. So I deleted it. But generally, I don't even look at them. I don't care.
Oh, I can't. I'm like, I have to know what people are saying.
Because women are very emotional. They're reactive, right? So women have, like, when you're single, right?
Yeah.
Okay. No. You said.
Why do I feel like I just got like slammed in the hot seat? I'm like, oh no.
No. But I'm saying what happens is when you're in a relationship, you ever notice when you're in a relationship, you'll ask your other half, you'll ask them a lot of questions, and then. Have you ever noticed how the guy's like feeling like they're being interrogated?
Yeah.
Because the way a woman's brain operates is she needs information and data, but men aren't wired that way. And so this is a lot of problems that people have, the dynamics in a relationship between men and women. We're so different in a lot of ways. Yeah, we're both human.
Right.
Right? But we're really not alike at all. And so once you understand the communication between men and women, it makes relationships so much easier. But the problem is, and I'm educating people, I'm reading on psychology books and studying and really, like, I'm getting a PhD in psychology, in behavioral psychology, and people skills and whatnot.
Oh, right now?
No, I'm not, but I am.
Oh, just by the reading,
I'm not going to school, but I'm spending hours and hours and hours and weeks and days. I'm studying, taking notes, reviewing, highlighting. Like, I'm quizzing myself. And so the more I learn about the human biology and the way people think and the anatomy of women and men and social interaction and structure, and it's like we're so different. And once you kind of figure out the cheat codes, and then this is the challenge, you figure them out, but then it's facts over feelings. I feel. It's like I learned, for instance, ready for this? Oh, we have a question. Where in New Jersey are you from?
Oh, West Caldwell, Essex County. It's like a town over from where Tony Soprano's from in the show. That's
are you Italian?
Half Sicilian.
You look like you look like you could be like a mobster's wife or something.
Do I really?
That's a compliment.
Maybe they're side chick. I don't know if I have the wife look. I don't know, but
Hey, they all have side chicks, right?
I'm like, I always feel like I'm like ethnically ambiguous, but then if I say like I'm on this, people are like, oh yeah, like that makes sense. But in reality, my genetic makeup or whatever, I'm like a mutt, huge mutt.
Okay, but primarily Sicilian and
Sicilian, Eastern European, and then like just a mishmash of stuff on my dad's side.
So basically Italian and white.
Kind of, yeah. Although I do have a little bit of like Arabic nation in me too, from my dad's side. So
how's the emotional status, the temperament?
Shaky. It's
you guys like how I did that? I just threw right at her. I'm like, what's funny? When you're older as a guy, we know.
You can tell?
We know.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, it's called EQ, emotional quotation. Yeah. So there's IQ, which is intelligence quotient, which is your IQ is your capability of learning, like, educational. You take an IQ test, right?
Okay.
Oh, really smart, book smart. EQ is emotional intelligence. So if your emotional intelligence is very low, especially as a woman, you react emotionally. You don't have you have no self-awareness. You can't manage relationships. You can't control your emotions. There's a lot of things and so what happens is when you react on your emotion, then it's like, okay, wait a minute. For example, anecdotal data from me over the years. I don't drink. Mm-hmm. But one of the acid tests I did is if a woman drinks it, I would have her buy her some drinks, right? And I'd see how she acts. Now, if she was happy, there's not a lot of underlining mental illnesses or issues that hasn't dealt with. But the girls that became very angry and ornery when they drink, there's a lot of stuff that hasn't been addressed that therapy needs to touch on. And because what happens when you're drinking, your natural
inhibitions,
everything comes out, right? I was always happy. Not that I haven't had issues, right? But they failed to address them and failed to get therapy. So you've been around people who are like, dude, this person's getting real angry.
Yeah, or they're just getting like emotional, or they're getting weird when they're drinking. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So the emotional intelligence is if you have a high EQ, that means you're able to balance your emotions in a touchy situation, right?
Fair.
Because women's hormones change 4 times a month, not outside of your outside of your period, right? In your ovulation, right? I'm talking every week your hormones go up and down. Mm-hmm. One time. So you're constantly on this emotional roller coaster. Your estrogen's high, your test is high, your test might be low, your estrogen's high. It happens once a week. And now that you know this, you're like, wait a minute, why am I feeling so sad? Okay, well, maybe your estrogen's high. Why am I feeling aggressive? Maybe your test is high because you have testosterone.
Right.
So you're aware of this, just like men, if they're taking TRT or testosterone or they're taking steroids, man, you're really aggressive. You need to catch it. But wait a minute, it's because I'm on TRT. Why am I so irritated today? Why am I depressed? Maybe my estrogen's high. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
but I feel like you brought up something before that where you said like the emotional, if somebody's very emotional, like that or if they don't have good control over their emotions, you feel like they have a low EQ? Is that what you're saying?
Say it again.
Like if somebody's very emotional, are you saying they have a lower EQ and if they're very reactive?
Not necessarily that, but there's a lot of things with emotional intelligence that has to do with other factors like self-awareness, being cognizant of others. There's all these other factors in dealing with your everyday work habits or your daily rituals, everything you do around you that causes you to have emotional reactions. Mm-hmm. So if you have a low EQ, emotional intelligence, you emotionally cannot handle certain adverse situations. Like, for instance, if somebody says something that irritates you, for instance, comments on your Instagram, you can't take that personal, but you take it personal.
Right.
And then how do you react? How does that affect your day? Do you go throughout the day? Does it irritate you to where the point where it affects you can't focus, you can't work? So you have to work with your emotions, your EQ. You should read about it. You should go online and read about it.
I mean, I feel like everything you're saying makes sense, and in terms of like learning to evolve as a human, like I would recommend that everybody do that. But I always talk about the relationship between madness and genius. So I feel like if you look at people who are highly gifted, right? People we know, let's say,
they're on the spectrum.
Right. So, like, it's interesting that sometimes in society, our highest performers, regardless of what they are performing in, are also the least regulated. Not always, right?
100%.
But oftentimes.
Facts. I mean, like, I would even go so far to say Elon Musk, he's on the spectrum, right?
Probably not too regulated, I would say, based on some of his like.
But he's very right. But he's very intelligent. He's got a high IQ. Right, I think the guy's alien, literally. Jordan Peterson, Ben Shapiro.
Oh, wait. Are we going to talk about the Jordan Peterson thing? Because I have a problem with people taking advice from a guy who, like, in detail described the dreams he had masturbating to his grandmother. Do you know about this? No. Guys, honestly, Jordan Peterson fans, God bless you, but I feel like it's not like a hidden thing either. Like, you have to look it up. It's right in his book. It's right in his book, black and white.
But he had this dream, and he talked, because we've all had weird dreams. I'm not justifying
I know,
it.
and some of them we should just keep inside. Like, that would have been
But
one.
he talked about it. I'm not justifying it. I'm not saying it was right, but he talked about it for a reason. What was the reason he talked about it?
Dude,
Go beyond that.
He went into detail about, like, the hair. I'm like, all right, we didn't need to know
But what was the purpose of him telling you that? Is what I'm asking.
That's a good question. I don't know.
Didn't you read the rest of the book?
I kept reading the article. He was like,
okay, you read an article. Okay,
so no. Like when I said the article, I'm sorry. What I meant was I read the passage of it. So I didn't read the whole book, but I kept reading and I'm like, where is he going with this?
I'd have to read it. I have his books. I got a couple books of his. I haven't gotten to them yet, but I'll read them. I'm
just saying, I feel like it's a bit of a red flag for me if I'm taking advice from somebody. I'm like, dude.
Well, everybody has. I mean, I'm not justifying that and saying it was right. I don't know what the purpose was. I guess for me, the why. So I look for the why. Why did he say that? Now, we've all had weird dreams. I haven't had any dreams about doing that with my grandmother.
I mean, good.
But I've had some wild ones. Jennifer Lopez, this and that. I mean, but I'm just saying, it's like, wait a minute. That was a long time ago. Mm-hmm. I moved on from Jennifer. I dumped her. But
your mom? Well, because she's no longer in her prime, right? Isn't that the whole shtick?
No, it's not the whole shtick. It's the options that you have. So like, and I won't say shtick. It's back to biology. So over thousands of years, here's the reason why. And a lot of people, again, this is the red pill, and they don't explain it. They don't get into depth. Some people do. Rollo's really good at it. Michael's really good at it. But for thousands and thousands of years, biologically, men were attracted to youth for fertility purposes.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
So we're past the caveman. You come with me. We're past those days, right? But men are still attracted to beauty. That's the first thing. That's just
people in general, right? I mean, women like good-looking people too.
So the reason why is we were built that way because beauty equates to youth and beauty equates to fertility. So biologically, we're attracted to it. Now, it goes past beauty, right? There's a lot of other factors. So the first thing men do is go, okay, I want an attractive young girl. When I say young, hear me out. I'm not 22, 21. I couldn't date a 21-year-old.
Right.
I just can't. I'm too OG, old guy, original gangster, double OG. Like to me, dating, for me, I couldn't. Now, honestly, 100%, not to lie, if I saw a girl that was 22, 23 years old, stunning hot, and we were out partying, she's like, hey, let's go back. I'm not going to say no. Now, could I be in a relationship with her? No. But is she too young for me? I feel yes. Because I have a 16-year-old daughter, and I feel like if she's getting older, it's just weird for me.
As it should be. I
right?
think that's normal. Yeah, I would
so
hope.
when these guys talk about, oh, she's 18, and it's like, brother, you're a person, an adult mind does not fully mature until they're 27 years old. You think about that, mm-hmm. right? And I remember when I was 25, 26, it's like, wait a minute, I kept changing. But I just can't be with somebody that young. I just wouldn't feel right. Now, I say that, but when I met my girlfriend, she was 26, and I said, no, you're too young, right? And this was 4.5 years ago. She's 31 now. I'm older.
Right.
So it was like, no, you're too young. But then I saw how mature she was. I saw how she was raised. So I qualified her and said, wait a minute, she's hot and attractive. And I talk about this. I'm not putting her, she was 6. She was cute. She was above average. So I knew she hadn't been alpha widowed. I knew her pair bonding hadn't been broken. Right. So I had an opportunity. She'd been with very few men. I said, okay. Then she elevated her again to an 8, 9, or 10 or whatever. But she came from a background where she was raised in a Latin culture and how to serve your man. And I was like, no, hear me out. So she's like, she can go beyond making a hot pocket. Now, for her greatest thrill and victory is to be the queen of the home, the CEO. And she doesn't want to have to work. I don't blame her. I wouldn't want to work either if I had an option, right? Mm-hmm. So for me, it's like, okay, I'll go slay the dragon. So I got to make sure I provide and protect. Now, that's traditional, but I'm not saying that's for everybody. I'm not saying if you want to be independent, that's a bad thing. I'm not saying if you want to be single, that's a bad thing.
Right.
But in this situation, how we were wired biologically as men and women, these are the general roles we're wired for. So when we try to fight that, it causes friction. And it doesn't, I'm independent, I'm strong. Okay, you're supposed to pay your bills. That's not a flex. But you don't see a guy say, I'm a strong, independent man.
Well, it's just expected of you, right? Like, I guess in society, we just sort of expect that.
But it's expected of you if you're single.
True.
Right? So it's like, well, I want to get in a relationship, but I'm a strong, independent person. It's like, well, independent means you're alone. I can't be an independent man in a relationship because I have to cohabitate with someone. I have to be somewhat codependent in certain areas. I'm telling you, if it wasn't for her, all my food would be ordered through Uber Eats.
Right.
If it wasn't for her, the house, I'd have maids there 24/7.
But I feel like it's like it could be a bit more nuanced than that. Maybe some of the people who are independent, like obviously in this case women, like maybe it was because they were forced to be independent. Like I'm a very independent woman, but that's because
By choice.
Based on a lot of different factors though. My upbringing, the experiences I've had, I was forced to be independent.
Okay, so let's real quick before I do that.
Was there like dissension in the chat?
Big money Hoboken here.
Oh, Hoboken. Hoboken.
Yeah,
no
Hoboken.
joking.
Damn, she's smoking hot.
Oh, thank you so much. I clean up okay. Thank
Today's
you.
his birthday. Let's Lee. Hey, can you let me in? Somebody wants to jump in. We're not doing
Someone's birthday?
Yes.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Lee. So let's talk about it. So how you were raised. So I touched on this. So were you raised in a nuclear family?
Yes.
Mom and dad?
Yeah.
So why were you forced to be independent?
I'm the oldest of 5. And my dad just had a job where when I was younger, he was away a lot.
He provided for the family, right?
Oh, absolutely. And I have a great dad. And by the way, like I always say, I have a great relationship with my dad. I just don't dress like I do, but I have a great relationship with
What do you mean you don't dress like you do?
Like I feel like I dress like I have daddy issues, but I don't. My dad and I are great.
You're not out of line here. There's nothing. I mean,
nothing sticking out. I hope not.
That's okay. We'll just blur it out.
I was gonna say you probably get a few more views then, but no, my dad and I, we have a great relationship. He wasn't. I wouldn't even say like, oh, he wasn't around, but he traveled a lot, and my mom had 5 kids back home, so I used to help out a lot.
Okay, so you helped your mom.
Help my mom, and then I also think that I took it upon myself to do everything for me, so I didn't feel like a burden to my parents. So at 7 years old, I was doing my own laundry. I was making my own breakfast and lunch, help with dinner, did all that, help take care of my siblings. My youngest sibling is 13 years younger than me. So even at 13, I was like a mini mom, right? And when I went to college, I stayed home and I commuted to school. And the job that I got was a nanny because that's what I knew. I knew how to take care of people.
What, did you graduate college?
Yeah.
What, did you get a bachelor's?
Bachelor's, I had a degree, or I have a degree in finance.
Okay. So you're a finance bachelor's. Okay. So you went to college. And then what did you do after school?
I majored in finance. And then I was like, I'm not going to go work on Wall Street because I didn't like the dress code. I'm not really like a pantsuit girl. So I was like, that's out.
I didn't mean to skip your growing up. So you grew up. Let's go back. Sorry. I'm sorry. You took care of your 13 years old.
Are you psychologically profiling me right
No,
now?
I'm asking you questions.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. But
because you said that you feel like your upbringing is why you have the decisions or choices you made.
To a degree, yeah, absolutely. I just was independent from a young age, and I continued that on. The oldest of 5, especially as a woman, I feel like if you talk to most people, most women who are from bigger families and they were the oldest, almost every single one will tell you the same thing. Oh yeah, I was a mini mom. There was a lot of responsibility put on me.
So you ready for this? So my godmother raised me.
Oh wow.
Until I was 7, my mom took me back. But I have 7 older sisters and an older brother. And
Interesting.
And the oldest sister, Lynn, who's been happily married, got a degree, University of Washington. She was same situation. And then, it goes down the list, all the sisters and my one brother. I was the youngest. So I saw that. My mom was home, made all the food. Dad went to work. Godparents, they raised me, right? And then she ended up having a daycare at home.
Wait, so did my mom. Ran a daycare out of our house.
Yeah.
Interesting. Continue.
And then as everybody got older and moved out, obviously there's always someone there. There's just 17 grandchildren. And then there's probably 12 great-grandchildren, right? Mm-hmm. And
big family.
Big family. So, and my godfather passed away 2 years ago. Godmother's still alive. They were married. He was, I believe, don't quote me on this, she was either 16 or 17. And he was 19. Mm-hmm. Or something like that. And they were married this whole time. And they have big families. So that upbringing caused me to look for a traditional type relationship. Now, when I went back with my mother, on the other hand, again, I love my mom, but she's very masculine because of my grandmother. And my grandmother's been married 3 times. They all passed away. Once she got divorced, but the other 2 passed away. Her first husband, they got divorced. The other 2 passed away. But but she was very masculine. So my mom became very masculine. And not a feminist, but masculine. And so now my mom's, again, I'm not talking bad. I did a reel on this. Everybody's like, oh, you're talking bad about your mom. No, I'm not. She's alone, single, and miserable and old. And she's still, she's, I got to stop working, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I pay for her phone. She lives with her half brother, my uncle. The point is that because of her mindset, this is what I tell women. Masculine men don't want masculine women. So what happens by default, here's what happens. Independent, strong woman, she ends up not attracting the masculine man. She gets a guy, and then she goes, I had to step in the masculine role. Well, it's a beta guy because that's only guys that will oh my God, Bree's beautiful. Okay, I'll date her, but he doesn't have boundaries and he doesn't have a framework. He's gonna put his foot down. He's a masculine guy, but you know what masculine guys go? I don't want to deal with that. I have options. I can go with this. Well, I don't want to deal with, not you. I'm not talking about, this is not about you.
No, I get you're just speaking in general terms.
I see the pretty girl, and when I was single, and this girl, she knew Dan was there, she's one of these Instagram models, very beautiful girl. And I'm like, wait a minute, I'm thinking to myself, you think you're my only option. You're masculine. You're combative. I'm coming home dealing with a guy. Like I'd come home from work.
But I feel like I have to ask though, when you say combative, and you tell me because I don't know, I wasn't there. Do you mean that she was always giving you a hard time and was argumentative, or like did she just know how to stand up for herself when it was time to stand up for herself?
Let's call it agreeable cooperation, right? That's what submissiveness means, right? So I know you hate that word submissive. Most women do, but
and not in the bedroom. Outside of the bedroom a little bit, but in the bedroom, I'm down.
Okay,
continue. I am single, so just letting you know, guys.
So it's agreeable cooperation, right? Like, here's what it comes down to: the fear of letting the man lead, right? And not in a controlling way or a micromanagement way. Or, for instance, if I say we're going. Oh, here's one. My girl. Okay, our flight leaves Wednesday, and we're going to California, right? She's like, and this is me, and I do this for a reason. She didn't like it. What time leaves? 7. Let me see the tickets. No. Why can't I see the tickets? Because the fucking flight leaves at 8, but if it leaves at 8, she knows that we're going to be late. Right. So I say, no, you're not going to. I said, I want to go trip. Only way we're going on a trip is you can't look at the tickets. Because every time she knows the time, we miss the flight. So I take control of the situation.
Yeah.
You're laughing, but it's true.
I'm like, I feel like I've seen this scene play out in my household like 1,000 times.
Flat iron.
Yeah.
You're not dressed or packed. The flight leaves in 3 hours. Oh, we'll be there. And we get there and the lady's like, sorry, the gate's closed.
No, see, I would like that though. I'm like, oh, see, like you're just being strategic at that point. I'm like, I would like that kind of a partner.
I mean, okay, so let's do this. We're in the house and we disagree on something. I have the option to make the final decision. A lot of times I don't. It's like, no, I'm going to go to this restaurant. But I don't feel like men are very competitive.
Sure.
If you got to compete with your partner or your mate, that's two guys competing. This isn't a rugby match or football match, right? So what I feel is like the women that are masculine want to win the match. It's the insult, shame, guilt, and the need to be right. Instead of like, hey, look, okay, guys, okay, hey, I came, what time did you leave? 2:30. No, you didn't, less than 2:45. Okay, whatever, 2:30, 2:45, whatever. Guys aren't into details. And then we get in this discussion about, it's like, okay, you know what, you're right, that's fine, let's move on. And you want to keep talking about it and talking about it and talking about it. It's like, okay, now I'm feeling pestered. Now I'm feeling like you're interrogating me.
Right.
Now, and then you raise your voice. Now you're being aggressive. Now you're being very masculine about it, and now you want to be combative about it. There's no need for that. And so for me, it's like I don't want to come home to a man. I don't want to deal with that. So when I see these women with this mindset, and I was like, she's got cats, she believes in zodiac signs, and she's single.
Wait, by the way, the funniest thing to me about this, like the fact that you and Michael Sartain want to die on this hill against astrology and cats. Well, God's sakes.
Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why.
Who wronged you with who was into astrology?
You ready for this?
I am.
You ready for astrology? The Institute of Science Journal and Magazine.
Yeah.
Clinical psychologists have done a study, and they've proven that people that believe in zodiac signs have low IQs and are narcissistic. That's
but we
your
can
science.
pull
Hold on. That's your science. That's your scientists. That's the doctors telling you. These are psychologists telling you this. Okay. No, wait. Listen.
No, I am.
So then every time I see, and I'm not talking about you.
Yeah.
We're not talking about Bree here. Every time I see a gal and I start talking to her, she's single, and I'm not talking about you. 33, has cats, believes in zodiac signs and angel numbers.
She's a witch.
No, she's not a witch, but
No, I'm telling you, she's probably a witch.
she's relying on these things as, I like last night. What's your sign? Oh my God. Here we go again.
But why does it bother you so much? Like, what if it's just a hobby? Like I like astrology, but it's a hobby. I don't base my life on it.
No. Fair. But Libra, Sagittarius, it's the chemistry of people. It's the communication, the connection. It has nothing to do with your freaking sign. And so when you come to me and say, oh, what's your sign? It's like Gary's the number guy. Oh, if you were born on the 6th of October, then you're definitely, their leader. It's like, dude.
Well, that's just like a zealot, right? Like, and I feel like that's fair to say you're not into that, but I feel like it's not necessarily, I feel like if I said to you, I enjoy astrology, like you're taking that and assuming that you suddenly know that I'm like a narcissist. And I'm just saying, I don't know that we should make that assumption. Like, are you a sports fan?
Big sports fan. So.
Oh, perfect.
Mark, I'm from New Jersey. Live in Vegas now. Used to be a bouncer in Hoboken. Oddfellows. Heard it's no longer there. Do you know that place?
That may be a little bit before my time. I don't know. Where was it?
Right next to the Path.
No, because I know the Path is like Texas, Arizona. So if it predated that, then it's probably may have been a while ago.
Okay, go on. Do I like sports? Give me.
Those are a perfect time for a sports fan to jump in. Like, do you like sports?
I love football.
Okay. Are you part of a fantasy league?
No.
Okay.
I'm too busy. I'm too busy trying to create wealth.
Educate the people, apparently.
Well, and I don't have fuck you money yet, so I don't have time to fuck around unless I have fuck. Like Joe Rogan, he can't be canceled. Andrew Tate can't be canceled.
Oh, that's where the
yeah, you have to have
like sitting in a Romanian prison right now. Andrew
no, he's
Tate?
not in jail.
Or is he out?
No, he got out.
Oh, okay.
The girl, he went to jail because he said that. The girl said that he's trying to make money off of her TikTok.
I just thought he was still in jail. I don't want to digress, but
he's been in for a while. But go ahead.
But I was going to say that I feel like guys will have these fantasy leagues, men and women, and I have no problem with it. I think it's great fun. But like you're playing a fake football team, and like that's fine. But if I want to if I'm curious about where the stars are that day, like I'm a narcissist. You know what I mean? Like I feel like why can't it just be a hobby? Like why does it have to be?
I think it's because you believe in something that's they're playing a game based on stats of real players playing the football game.
Well, also but not wait, because you just said something else. You were saying that like it's about if we believe in something that you can't prove to be real. But what about religion though? Like what if you met a girl who was somewhat religious? Like is your girl religious or?
I'm not into religious people, but I love Jesus.
Oh.
There's a difference. I'm not a Bible thumper.
Not a Bible thumper.
And I'm a hypocrite. So when people say Christianity is hypocritical, it's not the religion, it's the people, right?
Right.
So for example, there's a book out. I remember the title. I think it's Proof That Evidence Exists. They found 1,300 scrolls all over the world, from different countries and nations, ethnic backgrounds, that people have witnessed this guy Jesus do these miracles. They've only found 600 scrolls that a Caesar of Rome ever existed. But yet we believe in Caesar, but we don't believe in this guy named Jesus. Now, I'm not even saying Jesus was from God. He could have been from aliens or whatever. But there's people that witness this that have no connection, no social media, no way to communicate, and they've witnessed these great feats. Now, was it aliens that did it? Who knows? Who built the pyramids? Who knows? But when somebody says, well, Caesar, well, wait a minute. How can we believe in Caesar? Well, there's proof. How? Well, there's scrolls. There's 600. So you're telling me you believe that and you don't believe in Jesus? So hear me out. I'm just saying, so and I'm not a theologian. I'm not. I haven't read all the books of the Bible, but when I study what I can, I'm like, okay, there's no way this shit could exist without some kind of miracle. So,
well, I believe in Jesus. Just FYI, I believe in Jesus. But like the most popular Bible in the world. You know what version it is?
Which book?
Just the regular Holy Bible. If you were to walk into any hotel room, you open the drawer and you see the Holy Bible, that version is almost always the same version. It's the King
James, which is rewritten.
But I always say like King James, like he could have been the Perez Hilton of his time. Like we're just taking this guy's word for it. Like we have no idea.
The original Bible, the first Bible written was from Ethiopia.
But again, we're just this
Yeah,
is
yeah,
how many
yeah,
years
yeah,
have
yeah.
been
No,
passed
no,
down.
I
Things could have
agree
been
with
the
you.
game of telephone.
I
you know?
agree with you. I agree with you. There's missing books. They took the book of Enoch out of the Bible. The Catholics had their hands on the original templates, and they left some. They threw some out. The Mormons added a whole new book. I mean, I'm not saying it's perfect. Hear me out. I'm not saying it's perfect, but as far as, you can believe in what you want. And I say it in a funny way because my anecdotal data that I have is that the women that have the cats, they're single. I swear to God. So look at
What if you have is it just the cats though, or is it just...
no. There's some. I don't have a solution or answer. Hear me out. You're gonna laugh, okay? So I swear to God, I've done this, and even on this post, this lady passed away, and I made a comment, and all these women, cat ladies, pop up, right? And so there's something with a personality trait or something. I'm going to do enough research. I'm not a psychologist. I don't have a degree, but I study like one. So there's a correlation between cats, zodiac signs, angel numbers, and being single. I don't know why, but every girl I know in Vegas that's single, that's over 30, a majority, not all of them. There's an exception to the rule. The exception isn't the rule. You understand that? Because I know a guy, I know a girl, so you may be the exception. You don't have cats.
Yeah.
Okay, you're 30, right? So you're going to be 31. Okay, so, but all the girls I know that have been in Vegas, they're single. I say, why don't you get a dog? Too much work, too much energy. Cats are easy. See,
They're very independent. It's true.
So they're into themselves. And then I look at their Instagram. I was like, okay, same Instagrams, cats, single, and they're independent, strong-headed women, and they have little angel number quotes. It's 1111, 777. Are you a Libra or Sagittarius? And it's like all of them are the same. It's like, why is that? And why is it that the ones that have dogs or the ones in relationships aren't like that? I don't know why. I don't have an answer. But my anecdotal data from me interviewing and talking to women, it's all been, a majority has been in that category.
But couldn't we also say the same thing about red pill guys? Like, couldn't we generalize and pick out like 3 or 4 like characteristics?
Generalizes.
I don't know. I don't walk around with like contempt for you guys, so I'm
there's
not
no
looking
contempt.
for.
But what
not looking for the signs.
How would you categorize? So let's see. Rolo's married. Michael has a girlfriend. I've been with the same girl 4.5 years.
Well, what? Like, yeah, but let's talk more about like. I think it would come down to your beliefs, right? Like, it would boil down to your beliefs.
Okay, so our beliefs are about traditional type relationships, right? And so what?
Well, wait, don't say traditional because they're
to a point.
right.
So I'll
If you're inviting thirds into your relationship, which by the way I have no problem with whatsoever, but that's not
right.
Let's
Michael,
be honest.
yeah. So, I don't want to speak.
I was gonna call people out personally.
Well, not Michael. I'm not saying Michael Sartain, another Michael, but he talks about it openly. But let's true. So my foundation is I look for a certain look that's suitable for my lifestyle, what I want. Right. And
so that's one, right? Like we'll say like very, very fixated on women's looks, their physical appearance.
But 99% of men, it's looks first. Women, it's resources. And when they debate that, and this is in a book, Dr. David Buss, The Evolution of Desire, he interviewed 10,000 people all over the world from different cultures, ethnic backgrounds, and races. And then number one common denominator for women was resources in men. Is the first thing they look for. Resources equates to what? Stability and money. For men, it was looks. So that's the majority.
That I get. Yeah.
Okay. So that's you know there is exceptions because for example, Jeff Bezos, is he attractive?
To some, I would assume.
If he was at 7-Eleven, would he be attractive?
Probably no.
Couple $1 billion, he's kind of cute.
Yeah.
That's my point.
Fair enough.
So if the resources for guys, if you gave me a woman that was a 6, that's cute, above 5's average, 6 is cute, and she makes $200,000 a year, she has a bachelor's degree, she's a corporate executive, or you give me a hot Latina that's 25 years old at McDonald's, who am I going to pick? I'm going to take the Latina.
Well, I think, right, and it depends on what you're looking for in the relationship. Are you looking for your equal, or are you looking for, like you said, you're shaking your head no. You're not.
No, because the hypergamy sits in. There's no equality. There's no, men and women aren't equal. So you date at your level and above. You want a guy that's smarter than you, taller than you,
Not necessarily.
Okay, but here's what happens. Inherently as a woman, not you. We're not talking about you. This is why I love this. This is why I'm glad you came on, because I think women are afraid, oh, you're going to go after. I'm not going after Bree.
No,
We're talking in
not
general.
at all. I don't feel that
Okay,
way.
good.
For the record,
So can I get a
everybody.
daps so you don't
Yeah.
take out
Oh
my
my
eyes
God,
with your
no,
claws?
I would never
Your
get
cat
that
claws.
today.
See, she's got cat claws.
Oh God,
So,
now we're getting typecast. Yeah, no.
I'm typecast. You got these good words. But what happens is you get in this situation where if you meet somebody at your level and below, biologically you start losing respect and you start running the relationship. And then I had to step in my masculine role. Because, right, if you say equality, well, okay, I'm a strong, independent woman. Okay, when we go to dinner, you pay the bill. Mm-hmm. Right? And then it's like, wait a minute.
Well, I feel like that you bring up an interesting point, though. Like, out of these independent women, maybe some of them are just shitty and argumentative, and that's why they haven't found a man, right? Like, there's all kinds of things that could go into that. But maybe some of them have had a bad string of men where they felt like they had to be the provider, right?
Because they're not
the men haven't stepped up in their lives.
Right,
so,
because they're attracting the wrong type of guy.
fair.
Why?
I mean, that's a huge question. It could be any reason. I have no idea.
But what do you think men want in a woman?
You think they inherently want a woman to be like what, less than them, so they feel
No.
better?
Women date up. It's hypergamy. It's been proven. So they're level and above. Women date up. So
I don't know though. I feel like I know a lot of women who have dated beneath them. Not to say there aren't.
Okay, when you say
both.
dated, but did the guy make less money than them?
In certain cases, yes, but it's not necessarily just the money thing. It could be the way they treated them. It could be their level of
they're
education.
socio and economic level.
Mm-hmm.
So when I say economic level, their money is more, their social network is more. They're well known, they're networked, right? So here, watch what happens. A majority of women that date below, they end up, the relationship doesn't work. Right, they become the sugar mama, or I had to step in the masculine role. I want a guy to wine and dine me. All the things that they say they want is a guy at their level and above. But when it comes down to it, they're like, I'm not attracting that guy. Why are you not attracting that guy? Because that guy's not attracting you for what reason? What are you doing to repel him? And then it's like, I don't need a man. Okay, that's fine. You can be single, and there's nothing wrong. I want to clear this. You can be single. That's fine. But if you're single and you say you don't need a man, and I'm not talking about you or anybody around us, don't have a podcast and constantly bash guys and say, oh, guys are douchebags. You said you didn't need a man. But now you're talking bad about men. So you want a man.
Oh, no, that I completely agree with.
So what I'm saying is...
But by the way, the reverse is true, too.
Yeah.
Men who don't like women... And you're like shocked that they like men who resent women because they haven't had a whole lot of luck with women, or like the incel thing where they're not having sex and are angry.
Facts.
They become very angry with women instead of being like, well, maybe there's something that is happening with me. Although I do know that you guys, like I've heard Michael Sartain talk about that, where it's like, well, maybe you're like, have you looked at yourself lately? Like maybe you're not.
Well, 10% of men are sexually active. So out of 100 guys, only 10% are. 90% of men are not sexually active.
No way.
Yes, facts. See, this is
What's
what blows your mind. This is what blows a woman's mind.
What's considered? There's like, speaking of cats, there's cat hair on the microphone right now. They're
I don't know
coming
what you're
for
doing
you. They're
must have been, no pun intended. Lana must have been in here.
Stop it.
She has cats, right?
She has a bunch of pets, not just cats. She's a caretaker. See,
okay, but she has cats.
Saying.
But
sure,
she has cats. Okay.
Yeah, but I just want to here's a perfect example though. Is I'm a very I love being a caretaker. Like I consider myself a strong, independent woman, but I also love taking care of people. I would love to take care of a significant other.
So would you love taking care of your husband?
Yeah, of course I would.
If he took care of you financially,
I think that's a strength. I think that being
there you go,
caring. But when you to me though, that does make me your equal. Because if we're on a team, and we want to be a successful team, we can't both be the quarterback, right? We're not both going to be the...
No. It's just got to be a leader. You both don't fly the plane. There's a co-pilot. There's somebody who runs a company. There's who's going to lead the household.
So you just want to be the pilot, and that's
I
your
lead.
big
I
thing.
lead the family, and then I put her. I lead. I lead. She follows me. She fills the areas that I need filled. For example, if I want to get from $5 million a year to $10 million a year, okay?
Yeah.
How do I do that? Well, I need an asset, not a liability. So I'm in my business mindset. I'm going here, okay? I've made 7 figures in a year, right? Now the recession hit. I got to build it back. Whatever, okay? I'm starting a new company. It's launching tomorrow. The new supplement site, Black Ice Supplements. But what I'm looking for is I've got the money, I've got the house, the cars, I've got my foundation. I stay in shape. I need an asset. I don't need a liability. So someone that's going to come into my life and help uplift me and fill my void, I'm going to help fill their void. But if I have somebody that's going to come in and battle me, that's a liability. So if she's on my team and we're going to build together, she's going to benefit as well.
Right.
She's my queen, right? So
but that's and again, in your situation though, like, or any one person situation, like, I get that. I don't think there's anything wrong with saying this is who I am and this is what I need in my life, right?
Sure.
Based on whatever, like your background or where you're at right now. There's nothing wrong with that.
Sure.
But that might not be the blueprint for everybody, right?
Sure. So facts. But what happens is biologically, we're wired that way where the man should lead. And if he doesn't, there's always issues. There's always issues.
Yeah, I could see that too.
Majority, and I say again, I generalize, like, it's generally sunny in Florida.
Right.
It's generally sunny in Vegas.
Right.
Does it snow here?
No.
Yes, it does.
Oh, it does? Well, I just got here 3 months ago, guys. Give me a break.
Okay, but
I don't know.
Okay, so
I've only known it to be 115 here.
But it's the exception to the rule.
Right.
So there's always the one-offs, and I'm not saying anything's infinite. But
I don't even know that that's gender-based, though. I feel like any human being needs to have a sense of purpose. So if you're in your marriage and you feel like you have no purpose.
Yeah, but what is your purpose? Your children? You? What is yoga?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I feel like that would differ marriage to marriage. So if there's a marriage out there where the woman is the breadwinner and like her husband is maybe what you would call a beta, but if that works for them, then good, right? Like,
yeah,
I feel like they should be allowed to exist just like you should be allowed to exist.
But it won't. Here's the problem. Eventually, it won't last because she's going to lose respect for him.
Do you know that to be across the board, though? I feel like
the majority, yes. Because I've seen lots of men lose their jobs. My business went under, and I've seen situations where husbands have lost their income, and at some point, after a while, even girls that are dating a guy, I took care of him for how long would you date a guy that lost his job and you had to take care of him financially?
It would depend on like the whole situation.
You're living with a guy, been with him 2 years, a year. He lost his job and he can't pay any of the bills, and you're taking care of everything and him. How long would that last for?
Well, probably not too long.
That's my point. For the guy, it's the other way around. He doesn't care because
some guys would care.
Some guys care that are in a situation. But again, what type of guy are you attracting?
I don't know. I'm speaking in generals right now. I'm speaking based on people I know, not even my own experience.
So I've never cared about a woman's money. I've never cared about her degree. I don't care about that because that's not what. Because I got a degree. Okay, I make money. I don't care. Most guys that are successful don't care about that, and so that's the challenge. That's the rub because you get it. You're like, oh, okay, I did this for me. You did it for you. But for a successful man, I don't care about your degree, right? Or your money because I have it. So, but back to this 90%, 10% rule. So it surprised you that only 10% of men are sexually active?
Yeah. Although I would wonder what the definition of sexually active are.
They're sexually engaging with sexual interaction with a woman.
So you're telling me that only 1 out of every 10 guys are having sex right now?
On a regular basis.
Where are these statistics coming from?
There's the International Census Bureau, the International Statistics data information, which is done by.
God, no wonder things are going so poorly. People aren't getting laid. I mean, in general, I'm saying that wrong. It's the
It's the National Institute of Statistics by Duke and Princeton. And so here's the challenge. So when you say, oh, all these guys, well, here's the problem. 10% of the guys are having sex with 90% of the women.
Oh, there's an imbalance going on here.
Right, because 90% of the women want the top 10% men. And so here's the problem. Those 10% of guys have options, and they're going to choose. The majority of them have an option to get what they want. And so then what happens is here's the delusional factor. The female attention necessity disorder sits in. It's you've got an Instagram. Mm-hmm. You've got tons of guys in your DMs.
Right.
That want to date you. Mm-hmm. Do you have guy friends?
Sure.
Okay. You have guy friends. Okay. So it's not that you can't get a guy, but you're not ready or you don't want to be in a relationship, right? Now, hear me out. Guys, on the other hand, For you to go have sex tonight, when you leave here, you could probably go have sex within an hour.
Probably less if I really worked it. But
It's not that way for dudes.
no, I know. It's a different, yeah.
So when a girl says, not to be religious, but I'm waiting for God to send me the right guy. He did. You friend zoned him.
Well, yeah, in certain cases, for sure.
You've got access to men. The challenge is with most, and you're above average, okay? You're an attractive gal.
Oh, thank you.
Well, come on. I'm not going to say, but you're an attractive looking gal. So if you wanted to be in a relationship, you could.
Sure.
So it's not about you not wanting to be in a relationship. It's when you decide you're ready or the right guy that you're looking for. The challenge is the older you get, at 26, 27, 28, right? And this is where women get mad. It's not that you're a worse person the older you get, but the guy's value in a woman is looks. Hear me out. So here's what happens. In your 25, 26, 27, this is the guys you can get. You can go on. Did you go on boats in New Jersey?
No, I was never a boat gal.
Okay,
I know the type you're talking about.
But you got asked out to go on. You got asked out by guys that had money to do things.
Sure, yeah.
Okay. So this is my point. Your value is at a premium. Mm-hmm. Okay, you're platinum. You're like at the top. You're a Patek watch. Patek watches are 6 figures.
Yeah.
Now here's what happens. So you can get that.
Right.
The older you get, the less and less guys you can have like that. So here's what happens with women. They go there, they go to college, get their degree. They go into the corporate America. And then when they're 33, 35, they're like, okay, I'm ready. Well, you can't get the guy you could have got at 26 and 27 now. Mm-hmm. So now you got to lower your bar, and they're like, I'm not finding the right guy. And then they end up with all these guy friends, and they still haven't found the guy. And then they're 40, and they're on TikTok. I'm hot. Check me out. I'm single. It's like, lady, you missed your opportunity. Now, for men, their peak is 40 years old because they have the resources.
Right.
So young guys are a 20-year-old guy that's super hot right now, that's super hot and attractive, that's broke.
Yeah.
He's a Chad. 6 feet tall, 6-pack abs. He's hot. And let's say he just makes $20K a year. Okay, he's not going to be able to take care of a woman or take her to dinner or have the resources. So his value to a point is limited.
Right.
Jeff Bezos, he's not attractive. Now, Jeff Bezos' new wife is hot. She's hot for him. He wouldn't have got her if he was working at McDonald's. She's a Latina. Right. So my point is that you have the options to get what you want the older you are. So
but she's older though.
Yeah, she's older, but hear me out.
He could have gotten a lot of people. He chose her. It
makes
me wonder what I mean.
True. So what I tell guys is don't get. I tell guys flat out, get married. You know what a traditional marriage is? There's no contract.
What does that mean?
You don't marry the government. Why would you marry the government?
So it's like a soul bond? What are we?
No, you go to church, you get married on the covenant of God. That's what marriage is. It doesn't say anything about a contract. So you sign a contract, now you have a liability because you have a 56% chance of divorce. And out of those divorces, hear me out, 56% chance of a divorce. Mm-hmm. And let's just say 10% of those, let's add another 10% that stay married for the kids, but they're not happy. And let's add another 10% that don't even sleep together or have sex. Now you're at 76% of marriages that are failing. That's a failed business model.
Wait.
So now hear me out. And 75 to 80% of the time the women file. And if they're college educated, it's 90% of the time. These are stats.
No, I know, but I feel like we have to go back. We have to go back for a second.
Sure.
Because there's a lot to unpack here.
Sure.
So first of all, I feel like on both sides, men and women, it all seems so shallow to me. Like all of it, right? Like men valuing women for
But you value men for money.
Well, no, but that's what I'm saying though. Like I feel like on women's part, if that's how you're operating, that's very shallow. And if you're a man and you're only operating based on women's looks and their youth and their beauty, like that's like the whole thing seems shallow.
That's the first. There's got to be something you value. You have to value something.
Why can't you just value the person as a whole though?
Because if a guy's dead broke, you ain't going to be with him.
Well, but not necessarily though.
Okay, you're making $100,000 a year, and I have no job. You're not going to date me. So it's,
No, but that you're again now I am making it personal because I'm talking about me and how I feel and what I would hope other people as they evolve as humans see. Like I look at the whole person.
okay.
So if you looked at all the guys that I've dated or been involved with, like over time, or I've been attracted to, let's say, maybe I didn't even date them, I was attracted to them. Like you would struggle to find commonality because to me, it's about the individual.
Okay, let's talk about that.
Yeah, like maybe one guy, maybe he doesn't make a lot of money, but if he's
did you get in a relationship with him?
With
Did
the
you
guy,
date him?
Yeah, I've dated guys who've made less money than I have. I've also dated guys who've made tremendously more than I have.
Okay,
both.
so what relationship did you get? Which guys were you in a relationship with? Dating's just dating.
Yeah, I've only had one boyfriend. It was like 7 months long. I think I was 23.
Okay, so see, this is where you haven't gotten to the meat and potatoes. Once you get in that long-term relationship, right? Then it's like, okay, what do you? For example, if I was to ask you,
yeah,
do you want to be married one day? Mm-hmm. Do you want to have children?
I want to be married. Children, I'm not totally sure yet. I love kids. I would definitely be a stepmom.
Okay. So where would you like to end up living?
Like, what do you mean?
Like, do you want to stay in Las Vegas? Do you want what kind of lifestyle do you want? Do you want to travel?
Yet.
So you don't have a blueprint yet.
No, I think if I've learned anything in my 20s, it's that what do they say? It's kind of cliche, but if we make plans and God laughs or whatever, higher power laughs, whatever you want to believe in.
Okay, but you can't be blindfolded throwing darts. You have to have a goal, right?
Right.
Because then you're just running around life chasing a tail and nothing. It's like you're going to end up with the same result, nothing, right? So if you're 30 right now, you have to have some kind of goal in mind of where you want to be, right? And what type of guy you want. Because if you don't, it's like blindfolded and throwing darts. You're not going to hit the target.
I think I'm still figuring it out. And I think to me, it depends on like the person's, like I said, I look at the person as a whole. So I can't, I don't really believe in checklists necessarily because I just don't think that's like it's going to differ person to person. So if I met a guy who didn't make a lot of money, but let's just say he was really good to me. And in our relationship, even if he didn't make the money, and let's say like I had enough to provide for the both of us, but in our relationship, he was the alpha, right? And I felt like not only did he support me, but he kind of makes the decisions when I need him to, right? Because I'm already doing all kinds of other shit. But in our personal relationship, he's telling me when I got to go to the airport. He's telling me this, like maybe that works for me. So at that point, I don't really care if he's making money or not. If he's providing me a value in other ways.
Well, he's not going to be able to do that if he doesn't have the money, because that's part of the leadership ability. Because you're not going to respect him because he's basically.
But you're saying I'm not going to respect him.
Well, you're
can't. Saying that. Why can't I respect him?
Because he has no authority now. Because he doesn't have
he has authority because he's my partner and I've given him
But you're taking care of him.
Well, no, I've taken on the role of financial provider, but that doesn't mean that he's not providing me with other things.
So what? And I hear you, but this is what I've seen through life.
I was just checking the time.
Oh, okay.
Continue. You're good.
You got somewhere to go too, right?
No,
okay,
I'm good. You got me.
So we got here till midnight, right? So,
okay. So we're going extra long today, guys.
But what happens is
I have a can of worms I want to open. I'm just waiting to see if we have time or not for it because I'm going to throw you a curveball.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
So what happens is you get to this point where
you were saying basically that if he doesn't make the money, he doesn't have authority.
Well, okay, let's take a step back. Okay, what you want and saying what you want to get and do is one thing. Your body biologically, as a woman, is going to do another. You have no control over it. You were designed that way, just like men are designed a certain way.
Yeah.
And so you can fight it all you want, but it's like if shit hit the fan and we got invaded today, or if somebody breaks in your home, I'm not going to throw you in front of me and say, go get them. Mm-hmm. Right? Your human nature as a woman, it kicks in. And so this is what happens. Now, I'm not saying it's not possible. Anything's possible. Sorry.
Stabbed you with my
Sorry. But what happens is, you get in this sense of, there's not that security, and part of the security is the financial security, whether you like it or not. And say it's not about money, it is about money. I get it. So there's the stability, there's the resources, there's that factor. Because you say you may not want kids, but you may not be maternal, right? But if you ever become maternal, then the financial resources kicks in. So hear me out. So what happens is, he doesn't need to make money. I'm taking care of him. After a while, you start losing respect, even though you say you won't. you will, because that financial aspect isn't being filled. And that's a biological factor that kicks in over evolution over time, which has been proven. So my point is, you say that, and I agree with you. I believe you. But I think what will happen is you'll change the longer you're with them, because you're like, wait a minute, what's the value he's bringing to the relationship? What's the value? Because for me,
I just told you the value, right?
Right.
In our hypothetical situation.
So for me, my value is that she takes care of me. She fills my needs. She cooks. She takes care of the house. That's the value she brings to the relationship, right? Now, she is attractive. She is a good person. She has great personality. She has great morals and ethics. All that comes with it. So the looks is the first thing, and then I go down the list. But she brings value. So as a guy, what's my value I bring to her?
But why are you deciding though? Like, I mean, that your only because to me, I almost feel like I'm sticking up for men here, where I'm like, I don't think your only value should be what you can provide. I feel like that's such a huge burden on men.
So if you don't bring any value to the relationship, then it's just
no. I'm saying financially. I'm saying that I think that your value as a man goes beyond what you can
it is
provide
beyond
financially.
it is beyond that, but that's one aspect of it.
But if you can't do that and you could do other things,
okay,
why
well
are you then not
That's why
valuable?
90% of the guys aren't having sex.
Right.
A lot of them, like, for example, okay, let's just reverse.
But I'm saying we should challenge that belief. Like
You can
90% of the guys are not having sex, but if we as a society start examining this and saying, well, wait, why is this happening? You just said it's because women.
Well, there's a lot of reasons. So the hormonal birth control came out in '65. It
Right.
gave the women freedom to go have sex without conception, and then then the feminist movement kicked in. And then it's equal rights, right? I believe women should have equal opportunity, but outcome is different. And then it's the women's movement, right? Then it's the Me Too movement, right? Free the nipple, all this stuff. And then it's like, okay, free the nipple. I have no problem with that. Go ahead,
I'm
right?
sure you don't.
So my point is, and then it's like, we want equality. It's like, well, what rights? In fact, I will challenge you to say women have more rights than men. And so the point is, that's great, but what's happening from 65 to now with marriages and relationships? They're going down. Marriage
Women
counselors
can have their own checking accounts for one. That was not allowed for a long time.
Yeah, fine, whatever. But the fact is that marriages and relationships are more broken than they've ever been. It's not working. Marriage counselors don't work. We're seeing the divorce rate. In fact, by 2030, 50% of women in America will have no children and will not be married. It's getting worse. So if it's getting worse, what they've done hasn't worked. Now here's the thing. Over time, men have always been in the same type of role. They've always been, hey, the traditional guy, open the door. They want to show chivalry. Men haven't changed. Women have changed. Man,
Wait,
watch this.
I don't know
watch
if that's
this.
true.
Watch this.
Men have. You're saying men haven't changed?
Men haven't changed. The traditional men has not changed. What happens is women have changed and said, no, I want equality. I want this. I want that. Women want it all. So what's happened is the relationships and marriages have went down.
But the world is changing. People are changing. Change is inevitable. I feel like
yeah, but male and female human biology will never change.
Well, at its core, probably not. But if you move with the times, I think that there's a good. You can have a balance between like modifying to move with the times while still being what you would consider a traditional man.
We've been doing that. It's not working.
Who you're saying is doing that?
That's what we've been doing since 1965.
Who's we? Society? Men?
Yeah,
What are you saying specifically?
Men have been emasculated by society. Like for instance, red pill. Your toxic masculinity, right? This term that came out, right?
Right.
That was from a psychologist in a men's prison, and they evaluated these clinically mentally ill men in prison that were hitting themselves with hammers, and they said, okay, we're going to call that toxic masculinity. Then mainstream clinical psychologists took that, and then the feminist movement took it and said, oh, you're toxic masculinity.
Well, these are words. Like these are
no, right? Okay,
so
okay.
Maybe it may have been a part of a study, but in reality, if somebody says toxic masculinity, but I think that there's both, right? There's probably toxic femininity.
There's toxic people,
right? But I also, and for me, there's also like divine masculinity and divine femininity. Sorry, guys, it's a tough word to get out there,
okay.
but you know what I'm saying.
You need another shot.
No, I was gonna say I'm like stone cold. I feel like I'm stone cold sober right now, but I feel like again, these are just words, and the meaning that you assign to them is really based on what you consider toxic masculinity. Because I could say, yeah, I
don't think there is it. I think there's toxic people. Masculinity cannot be toxic. It's what people can be toxic. But masculinity and femininity is what our true nature is human beings are, as women and men.
Sure.
So if you say she's a toxic feminine, it's like, first of all, toxic is any human being can be toxic. But it's like, oh, I don't believe in toxic masculinity. It's just like misogynist, oh, you're a misogynist. Way, okay, do you know what misogyny means?
Well, that means it's something different for everybody, right? Because I could say to you, I'm a feminist, but my definition of feminism is going to be different than the woman next to me.
Okay, but the definition of feminist is a woman that believes in equality between men and women. That's the true definition.
Right, and then you say you don't believe in that.
No, men and women aren't equal at all.
Really? I feel like can't you have different roles and still be equal?
Well, okay, first of all, men are stronger.
Physically.
Okay, men built the world.
Men built the world.
Yeah, okay, everything you do is, okay, let's look at this.
Also, do you think Jesus would have been a red pill guy? Because I feel like no. Based on what we know about him, probably not.
Well, okay, so your car, your phones, the house, the apartment, the roads, all built by men.
Wi-Fi women.
Wi-Fi women, great.
What do you mean great?
And the X-ray machine. And the X-ray. Oh no, and the X-ray. Here, hold on. So then we look at that and we say, okay, they had this show, a true survivor show, and they had men and women on an island. Okay, they sent all the women out by themselves and all the men out by themselves. The men got shelter, built a fire, got food. Women fell apart and cried. They couldn't figure it out, and they gave up because their true biological roles kicked in. They're not built for that. And that's a compliment because men aren't built for certain things either. Emotional embracing.
Sure. No, I believe that.
So what happens is there's certain things that women say, well, I know women that are construction. 99% of the construction jobs are men.
No, I get that. And I think that, but this is where I'm talking about, it's about synergy and working together. But you're saying one, like the way that you're saying it makes it sound like one is more valuable than another.
No, women are very valuable. Without women, it'd be chaos. But without men,
it would also be chaos.
It'd be complete chaos. Without masculine men, without any type of, you know what happened? Men are the reason why you don't get raped. Men are the reason why you don't.
Men are also the reason that we do get raped. Right, so I don't know.
And lesbian women have a higher domestic violence rate than
I don't know where you and Michael get your statistics from because I feel
it's all out there, and that's the problem. People don't want to read it.
I don't know if that's true. Wait, I don't want to.
Okay, go back on your can of worms. So
no. Wait, I do have to say that, but I feel like you brought up something interesting because if we take it back to more or less like the caveman era, right? What did the men go out to do? Like they went and they hunted, right?
They provide food and shelter.
Hang on now, because the men would go out and they would hunt the woolly mammoth, and their method of doing that was what? Throw rocks and stones at it until they
and spears. But first they would find shelter. The women would stay at the cave. They prepare the cave. They take care of the children.
Right. So the women are home. They're taking care of the kids,
which is the most important role.
Yeah, tough role, right?
No, so very tough.
They're taking care of the home. They're probably at this point, like if they're like eventually they probably started growing shit, right? So they're doing
growing weed.
Right, they're urban planning at that point, right? Like they are planning. They are back home planning the community. So it's not to say that what the men were out doing wasn't important. But back home, they were doing all kinds of stuff. Because women can multitask and men can't really.
They compartmental. And facts, and this is my point. It's more empowering for a woman to be at home than a woman to have a corporate job because it's a lot tougher. See, it's easy.
Yeah, that's true. I agree with it being tougher.
So it's easy for a woman to say, I'm a strong-headed woman, but it's harder to be a woman of strength. Because if you're a woman of strength, that takes a lot of skill and talent and ability because any woman could be a strong-headed woman. It's just an attitude. So I'm a strong-headed woman. Okay, you're single. I go, yep, she's single. I'm 9 times out of 10.
Necessarily, yeah. Maybe in certain
And she has cats,
cases,
boxed wine, watches Netflix. I'm joking.
and is into astrology and tarot cards.
And watches the Notebook.
But I feel like I don't know why, a lot of the things that you're saying, I do agree with. I just don't understand why those roles aren't equal though. Like if you're both on a team and you're both providing different things.
No, there's equality there. What I meant by that, let me elaborate. Like there's a leader in a support role, okay? And the leader's leading the family. I'm not saying that her role isn't as valuable. No, I think it's more valuable. But I'm talking about as an individual, the equality, like there's certain things that men can do, like for instance, STEM, scientific, technology, engineering and mathematic jobs, right? Those are all done by men. Women don't want those jobs.
Not that they don't want, no, women in STEM is like, there's like a big movement about that.
28 years I've been in technology. I was a recruiter. This is what I did for a living. Women generally don't go into those roles. They go into human resources. They go into communication. They go into service, people-oriented jobs, nonprofit. They don't go into those roles because they're not interested. They do have those roles, but the high majority of women aren't going into those jobs. They don't want them. Now, I'm not saying that I'm a majority. There is exceptions, okay? So for 28 years in technology, we need more women. They're not taking the jobs. They're not taking the degrees. They're not interested in it. So what was your degree in?
Finance.
Boom. Right? So
but finance is skewed towards men. There's not a lot of women in finance.
Okay, but my point is scientific, technology, engineering, and mechanical, right? So what's happening is mathematics. You're in mathematics, so you're an exception to the rule. So what's happening is you're seeing a lot of these roles that men are doing. Women are graduating at a higher rate than men.
Right, but why are we on this topic though? Because I feel like nothing that you're saying is like I feel like I get it.
Because you said we were talking about equality, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about how each role, your role is just as valuable, if not more. You're taking care of the home front, right?
Right.
But men have to go out and forage for food, hunt, provide, protect, do these roles and lead the family, right? So in a lot of ways, the quality when it comes to like the household, yeah, but when it comes to like leading the family, the guys leading the house, or when it comes to working out in the environment or doing these things, guys are more fit for that role. So when you're talking like leaders in the world, right? Men have always led. And they say, well, that's a patriarchy. It's like, well, if there wasn't a patriarchy, this whole world would fall apart. That's why we have wars. Men are fighting in wars. If women go to war, if you had an option, you know why women didn't go to World War II? Because they
were home building all the shit you needed to go to war.
They asked them if they wanted to vote, and they said no, because that meant they would have to take civil jobs.
Wait, hang on though. This is where I feel like I feel like men, yeah, but women didn't go to World War II. They weren't. You couldn't be like a woman in the military in World War II. That wasn't allowed.
They voted. They had voting rights, right? Just like now, right? Women in combat roles. It's a psychology measure as well. For example, if I see, I was in the military 7 years. So I was in those roles. I was not threatened, but there was never a woman on the other side. I'm not threatened by that, right? So there's pilots now. There's Navy pilots that are women. There's Army pilots that are women. There's Marine pilots that are women. But in hand-to-hand combat roles, who's going to win?
Men.
Right.
Yeah.
They're stronger.
Sure, yeah, of course.
So there's no equality there. But so you see
but I see what you're saying. Yeah, but now I feel like now we're like hyper focusing on one thing, which is like, can you hand-to-hand combat? You know what I mean? I'm saying on the whole, like if women didn't step up and take all those factory jobs and basically do everything on the home front, like what do you think would have happened?
Yeah, and then when the men came home, what did they do? They went back to the house because they didn't want to work in the factories.
Well, they went back to the way that society was, which is what they were told by men. This is what society is.
But a lot of them had the option. A lot of them didn't want to do that.
Are you sure about this?
Yeah, because it's a traditional thing. So my point is this: my grandmother and my great grandmothers, right? They didn't want to work. That was their choice. They didn't want to go to work.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
My mom had to work because of her mindset. Right. And so if as a woman, a lot of women might disagree, but if you had the option to be home and be taken care of and not have to work, and you could do your hobbies, you could do whatever you wanted, and the resources were there, a lot of women would want that, but nowadays they're shifting their mindset. I don't want that. I want to be independent. Well, then there's nothing wrong with that, but you're going to be alone and single. That's the point.
Well, what if it's just more about like wanting more out of life and wanting a sense of purpose
that.
Beyond motherhood?
You can do that.
Like I know women who are like, I love being a mother. I would consider that my most important job, but just being a mom is not enough.
Well, you can do that. You can do that, but what's the outcome? What's the price you pay? You can't have it all. That's the point. And so you either have one or the other. The majority either has one or the other. So if you want to be single and do what you're doing, that's great. Could you get in a relationship? Yeah. Could it work? Maybe, maybe not. But the point is being single is fine. Nobody's saying you can't. Nobody's saying you can't be independent. Nobody says you can't have the freedom. But something has to give. It always does. So as a guy, we have something has to give, right? If we're not going to be ambitious and successful and move forward in life, something's going to give. We're probably going to be the 90% of the guys out there that can't find a girl. They go to Colombia, go to Thailand, go to Mexico.
Yeah, that's really becoming a thing nowadays.
Well, yeah, I've been down there. I've been to Colombia. It's a whole different dynamic. It's a whole different dynamic. They were raised differently. And it's not about, I want to be the boss. They don't want to be the boss. They have no problems doing that. And that's the traditional type lifestyle. So my point is this, is that I don't disagree with what you're saying. And I have no problems with women doing what they want. Nobody said they couldn't, but here's the problem. They want everything. You can't have it all. We can't have it all. Right? I can't have 3 wives. Not that I'd want 3 wives.
Sure?
I could barely handle 1. You already with me? It's like, God, why would you want 3? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. But I feel like I don't know. You've this idea that
But
like
you see, here's the
men built the world.
Here's the thing.
That seems not
This is the
right.
thing. This is where you say, I feel. Let's go on stats.
I think. I think
You're in
I
your
am.
feelings and
Therefore, I
emotion.
am. But I'm just saying.
But men did build everything.
Well, because women were not given the opportunity to. So I feel
Women
like
have
that's
the
not fair.
opportunity now, and they don't want to do it.
Where are these people? Where is this coming from? I'm sure women want to build things like
Women are not
alongside
doing
men. Why can't we both?
Okay, 95% of the construction jobs are men. Women can go do that. They don't want to do it.
Well, again, though, but you're saying though that because based on their strength, they're not really a good fit.
No,
for the
they just don't
role.
want to do it. They just don't. They can do construction. There's women carpenters.
Sure.
There's some plumbers. 98%, 98%.
Well, wait, which is it, Davrick? You want them to do construction, or you don't want them to? You want them to fulfill the general role, or you don't?
No, I don't care. But what you're saying is they haven't had the opportunity. They do have the opportunity. They choose not to.
In recent history, but do you think if a woman walked in like the 1800s and was like, "I want to do construction," they'd have her committed and call her a witch? 1600s, they burn her at the stake.
Okay,
What do you mean?
since 1990. Let's go back to 90.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go back to 2000. 23 years. Let's go back to 90. 33 years. Let's go back to the 80s. They could be a plumber in the 80s. It's still 98% men. Women don't want to be plumbers.
Oh, okay, but I don't understand. Like, you're saying that this is a good thing or a bad thing?
I'm not saying it's a good or bad. You're saying men. You say men. I said men built the world.
Now because you're saying it literally building the world.
They
Like,
still do. Guys still do that. That's my point.
Listen, I love blue collar people. There's like no disrespect to that,
Right.
but there's more. There's more to building a society than just quite literally physically building something.
Okay, so you name. Okay, watch this. You name an industry that a woman's been successful in, high up, that's not involved with sex or beauty.
But my counter argument before. No, I'm not saying you're not wrong. I'm not saying it's wrong.
Except Oprah Winfrey. Except Oprah. Okay,
Wait, why?
I'm joking, Oprah. Except for Oprah, right? Like the Walton family, the women, they inherited it, right? Kim Kardashian, beauty and sex, right? So outside of that,
But that's based on. But I'm not saying you're wrong. But I'm saying that maybe that's because that's how we value women in society. You have kind of affirmed that at the beginning.
Kim could go start a company. She's a billionaire.
But what I'm saying is that if as society we're saying that's what women's value is, and you kind of said it before. You said youth and beauty is kind of how we value women.
No, youth and beauty is what we look for. That's what we look for. But our value is are they the caregiver of the house? Or are they the emotional support?
Right,
There's
but
value
in terms
past
of
that.
if we're valuing them out in the world, and I have to create a business that
There's women that
value
have businesses. Absolutely. See. First of all, I'm not disvaluing women. I'm just telling you.
I'm not saying
I'm
you
just
are.
telling
I'm just
you
saying
what guys look for when they're dating.
Well, society, right? As society, like we've often sent the message to women that if you're not beautiful, right, then we don't really we care about you a little bit less.
Okay.
So these women made their empires that way because that's kind of what they had to do.
But the majority of people that purchase beauty is women. Mm-hmm. Okay, they're the major purchaser of goods and services in America. The credit cards, everything is women, not guys. In fact, women objectify themselves sexually to better themselves. Right, your whole profile, you're very sexual on your profile.
Yeah,
you're objectifying yourself. So when somebody says beauty and they say, "Well, that's your opinion," it's actually objective. There's objective facts and truth to that. So what beauty is, right, to a person. So when you say that, you're right, but that's how women have portrayed themselves as well, right? They sell themselves in that. Like you sell yourself as an attractive woman.
Sure.
Okay, so you're objectifying yourself.
Well, yeah, but that's because I've lived life both ways. Like I was very unattractive for most of my life, and then I became more attractive. And I feel like the sad truth is that in society, it's like the amount of people who are now willing to pay attention to me because they perceive me as attractive is exponentially higher than it was
okay,
before.
okay,
But the rest of my value.
Okay, stop there.
It's
Stop
the
there.
same.
Stop there. But what's wrong with that? Now watch. The sad truth is that women find value in men that are successful financially. It's because of their success. It starts, there's always a starting. So if I said the complete opposite, remember, it starts here.
No,
There's-
I agree with everything you're saying.
But
So
what's-
you're preaching to the choir. But what I'm saying to you, though, is that I feel like I would like to see society, men and women, everybody, they, them, she, him, whatever. I would like to see us try to evolve beyond just valuing each other for those two things.
They don't just value that, though. That's what I'm saying.
You just said it.
That's
though.
the first thing they look at.
Okay, so let me. Okay,
There's
so let
a
me,
whole list of 10
allow
things.
me. I'm sorry. Let me change my statement though. So I would like it if that would not be the first thing we all look at. If
But
we could
it's-
push ourselves beyond that.
Okay, fair. So you retorted your statement. Fair. Unfortunately, biologically, that's what we do. We can't change our biology.
Well, yeah, but we can evolve. We've evolved since the caveman days. So it's not. You're saying we can't change our biology, but
Okay,
we
this
have
is
evolved.
this is my opinion. We evolved within a species, but we didn't evolve from a different species. I don't believe that.
No,
So Darwin's theory of evolution is theory. He only proved that finches evolved with another species of finch. Well, is there different species of humans?
But we are evolving, though, right?
We're
You agree.
evolving as a human being. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Facts. But here's the thing. I don't think our biology is going to change. I don't think one day I'm gonna be. Are you with me? Our biology. Men have higher testosterone than
Yeah.
women. Women have lower testosterone. We have estrogen. You have estrogen. Okay, that's not going to change. Now, our test levels have decreased and diminuted over time because of the jobs we're doing, the lack of physical.
Go back to your first statement, though. Like, let's just stick with that because that's a good one. Where you're saying like our biology is not going to change, right? And I agree. Like our base instincts probably won't change,
Okay,
but we as humans can challenge ourselves to go beyond our base instincts.
Right, but when that I
With
agree.
good intentions.
I agree, but what happens is when shit hits the fan, we naturally revert back to our biological roles.
When you say shit hits the fan, what are you referring to?
I'm just talking about
catastrophic event.
I'm
or-
talking about mating. I'm talking about intruders. I'm talking about providing, protecting. I'm talking
The
about.
shit hits the fan when you're mating. I think you have bigger problems.
Well,
in your
I'm
life,
just saying
but
in general, your mating habits, like the evolution of desire. It talks about mating over evolution of time. It's been that way for thousands of years, just to mate. You have those. So here's a problem with men. Right now, men are sitting behind a computer. They're not doing physical roles like they used to. Their testosterone levels
Yeah.
are dropping, right? So more and more men are becoming this softer type of guy, right?
Right.
And so then there's the guys that say, I'm going to work out, stay in shape. I'm going to take TRT, testosterone replacement therapy as I'm older. I'm going to do what I have to do. But what's happening now is the guys are becoming soft and the women are becoming masculine.
right.
And it's not. And what's the outcome? Higher
Totally
divorce.
different.
Less and less people are getting married. Less and less relationships are working. Population is declining. Less and less children. Right? So if we want to switch that, you're saying, I get what you're saying. So it'd be great, Davrick, if one day we didn't start by looks for guys. Well, to mate, men look at looks.
Well, I mean, I feel like you could look at a whole number of factors.
But I'm not going to be with an ugly girl.
That's you saying that. Because I feel like you're saying that you tend to place a premium on women's looks, and again, that's on an individual level. There's nothing wrong with that.
But that's 90% of men.
Again, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying that I feel like your idea of fixing the problem is by going back sort of to our traditional roles. And I'm saying maybe there's a happy medium where we can go forward and not necessarily only value each other based on those things.
But you say, okay, we'll close this and we'll go on to the next topic. But when you say only, that's not the only thing. That's what I'm saying.
Well, but I mean, the first thing would inherently be the most important.
Okay, so
right?
now I
'Cause
want you to-
you're going to eliminate so many people based on that first thing. You just said it, right?
Right.
Women
That's
are,
why 90% of dudes are watching Pornhub.
Right.
So what I want you to do is get that book by Dr. David Buss called The Evolution of Desire. I want you to read that. And then I'm reading it now. I'm a slow reader. I'm highlighting. I got like
I'm not.
Okay. So that's a good quality you have. You're like, I read it in 2 days. You're stupid. And I'm on the.
No, I don't think
listen,
you're stupid. I'm just saying.
But I'm very basic bitch when I read. So I got like 5 books. I'm highlighting audiobooks. I'm like, what did I just read? I got to go back. I got ADHD, right? Oh, look at the squirrel.
Yeah.
I'm all over the place, right?
Yeah. So you're taking the time to retain it. I get it. And that's okay if you take a little while longer. It's not a big
now
deal.
you're making me feel like I'm special needs.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying because you might have.
You're making me feel.
You might
I'm
be
joking.
more skilled
joking.
than other ways than I am. You know, like I feel like this again. It all goes back to me for like looking at the person as a whole. Like I don't think that makes you less than me. Like just like the guy who's doing plumbing is not less than the guy who's working on Wall Street. They have two different.
No. In fact, I have more respect for the average blue collar worker. 100%, 100%. And that's the problem is I have to defend average men because the majority of women don't. You're an exception, but they say, "Oh, I'm fine with that." But when it comes down to brass tacks, that's not the case. And then they have all the guy friends that are the average. Oh, he's not really my type. Oh, this, and then you go after the bad boy. I thought you wanted the nice guy. The nice guy you friend zoned.
Right.
And then I'm not going to say the name. Oh, my friends wouldn't. No, my friends wouldn't do that. My friends wouldn't. And then she ends up dating her friend. No, I'm not saying the name. So my point is, I'm not saying the name. But the point is that your guys are only guy friends because you told them they're your guy friends. Because your guy friends have said, "Oh yeah, she's good marriage material. She's attractive. She's a sweet girl. I like her. We're friends." No, you're friends with her because she put you in the friend zone. But if she said, "Let's go out on a date" or "Let's have sex," you wouldn't say no.
I get what you're saying. I'm just saying, to me, I feel like society as a whole has gotten so much more shallow, and I'm just challenging us to not be that way.
That's fair.
And that's men and women, by the way.
That's fair.
It's not,
That's fair. No, I respect
I hate
that.
the fact that there are like all these men out there who feel like they're less than and of course they're angry and they feel shitty and things are happening as a result of that. Like we've told them that they're not important.
Well, yeah, men have a higher suicide rate than women. Men are more combative towards other men.
Of course they do, because we tell men they're not allowed to cry.
Men kill each other more than anybody else.
Right.
Men go to prison more than women. Men die before women.
Yeah.
Men have a lot of responsibility on their shoulders, right? So no, go ahead. Now let's switch topics. That's fair. So you said you had a can of worms
that I wanted to open.
I feel like the water boy. I got a can of whoop bath.
No, not like that. I was gonna.
Water boy.
No.
Did you ever see that movie?
Yes. Oh, I love Water Boy.
He said to open a can of whoop bath.
I love Adam Sandler, dude.
Okay, go ahead. What are you gonna say?
I was gonna say that.
Good conversation, Bree. Though that was good.
Thank
I like
you.
that we had good dialogue. But I challenge you to read the book. Tell me what your thoughts are. You'll probably finish it
Dr.
before
Buss.
me.
Not the Lakers Dr. Buss.
No,
right? It's a different
Dr.
guy.
David Buss.
Okay.
It's called The Evolution of Desire. Last topic, and then after we're done with this, we'll shut down and we can
reconvene. Well, should I save it then?
No.
I don't know
that
I want to close it out with this, though. I feel like this is like an opener.
We got time. Go.
You're sure? Well, no, we can still. I'm just saying.
No.
You're sure?
Oh my God! I'm just saying.
When you're talking about like men liking women, not all men, but men liking women who are submissive and they're very agreeable and they kind of have
agreeable cooperation.
Yeah, agreeable cooperation, all that. I feel like I know a lot of men who have that, and they often cheat and they look for women like who are a little bit more independent, like they're looking for a thrill. I think that men deep down have an inherent need to be with a woman that they feel like is their equal and challenges them, not in everything, not that's like a shrew or is argumentative or who emasculates them. But I think that deep down, most men are looking for somebody who can meet them there, like meet them,
Do you know why men cheat?
I mean, I think it's different for every man, right?
Okay, well, again, I'm going to go off.
People cheat for all different kinds of reasons.
Well, I'm going to go off statistics.
Oh no, not that.
I'm just going off. Hey, look,
right.
see. Here's the thing. I'm Paul. Listen. Hear me out. I'm Paul Revere.
Okay.
I'm going to give you the message.
Yeah.
The British are coming.
Yeah.
You can sit at home, get shot with your cats and box wine. And
I've never drank boxed wine in my life.
I'm joking.
Everybody in the chat, just for the record, I've never drank boxed wine or wine in my life.
Hear me out. I'm going to give you the message. Don't shoot the messenger.
Yeah.
Because you won't survive. Okay, ready? Statistical data says that men cheat for variety. And it's biological. Now,
I get that.
okay,
I would assume that's true. Yeah.
So Now here's the two sides of the coin. We're staying on this topic. Hold on. If you had a choice between an average guy cheating, I'm not saying I wouldn't want either guy cheating, okay, or a guy that has a lot of money that cheats. Which guy would you choose? You have only two choices because they're both going to cheat. Not all men cheat. Okay, just hear me out. And I'm not condoning cheating, just so we know. But I'll tell you, 99% of high value men will exercise their options. They will exercise their options. I'm not saying
test the term high value men if we're talking about
okay. I'm talking a guy
because
I'm talking about a guy that's high net worth. He's for the last 10 years he's made a
rich guy.
No. He's got a high net worth of over 200K for the last 10 years. He's well known in the society and the community and and networked. He's highly desired by 90% of the women. Okay, that guy's highly valued because of who he is and what he's done and what he's accomplished. I'm not saying he's a good dude. I'm just telling you 99% of those guys will exercise options. Now, or you got an average guy that cheats. Which guy would you choose?
Well, I would choose the rich guy because now it's like you're a cheater and you're broke versus like you're just a cheater.
Well, now hear me out. Now hear me out. If the average guy cheats, he more than likely has an emotional connection. Now watch this. You ready for this? And we'll go back. I don't want to get too off topic.
That to me is like the worst form of cheating.
Okay, listen. If a woman cheats, most of the time a woman has an emotional connection. Most of the time. Guys can cheat and forget her name 2 days later.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
it's sex. But the average guy's never had accessibility or options to most women. So when they have their woman...
I've known a lot of average guys who are cheaters.
Okay,
though.
right. 80% of the affairs happen at work. So hear me out. 9 to 5er. He cheats. Now, what happens is he's emotionally connected. A lot of times he might leave the relationship, whatever. The high value guy, he's like, oh no, I just hit it and quit it.
But wait,
he's not emotionally connected.
Wait, I agree. But
now, go ahead.
No, I was going to say I agree with what you're saying, but and you said, oh, they cheat for variety. But my rebuttal to that is no, because he's so high value, he has not met a woman at that level yet that basically fulfills all of those needs for him.
I know
he is going to go out and look for variety.
That's not it at all. They totally are in love with who they're with.
I
you
challenge
disagree.
That. I challenge that notion.
I'm telling you, it's true. I can be totally in love with somebody.
What? That's you. Based on
no,
that's
I'm telling you
You're
about.
speaking for
I'm
yourself.
telling you about. Okay, the 20 guys I know, 10 of them have private planes worth millions of dollars. Totally in love with their wives. But they will dip and dine. And 7 of those wives said this, I'm okay with it, just don't bring home a baby or disease.
Well, yeah, but my challenge to you is
Kevin Hart.
It goes back to all the evolution.
Okay,
you're
Kevin Hart cheated on his wife. They're still married.
Yeah.
Jay-Z cheated on Beyonce, still married. Tiger Woods cheated on his wife. She divorced him. Ozzy Osbourne cheated on Sharon 6 times. She's still with him. All high-value men are going to exercise the options. As a woman, you have to expect it and say, I'm either going to deal with it or not. If you're not, that's fine. Most average guys won't. So your probability of a high-value guy doing it is higher because he has more accessibility. So I'm telling you as a woman. Now, I'm not condoning it. Bree, hear me out.
No, I know.
But you know this now from me. I'm telling you from
listen, I've been in Vegas for 3 months. This is like a...
Okay, well, Vegas
is like an epidemic out here.
Well, Vegas, that's a whole new topic. Vegas is a shithole for relationships. You don't date here for purpose. You date here for fun. And I'm going to tell you how you get around that.
Get up in society.
Yeah. Okay, so hear me out. So I'm telling you this from anecdotal data and empirical data. I'm telling you as a woman, you're better off with an average guy because the probability is lower because of his accessibility. The high value guy, the probability is higher because of accessibility. So you knowing this, know what you're getting into. I'm not saying all guys cheat.
No.
Okay, but
no, of course not.
So my point is, you knowing this, like, okay, but I will tell you this: some of the wives have accepted it. They said, "Hey, look."
Of course, they like the lifestyle. It's a trade-off, right?
Very
simply put, it's a trade-off.
And I'm not you, and no women I ever talked to, not one woman I ever talked to. But would you date Drake? Yeah. Oh, but he's got a girlfriend. I don't care. It's like, but it's Drake. But you wouldn't do it. But no woman I talk to does it. But everybody else does it. Like it
goes back to the shallowness, right?
Right. So it's like, oh, because he's famous. So that's more of a different clickbait. That's more of a status issue. So let's go back to where we were, right? What were you talking about? You were talking about
Men cheating.
Men cheating, but you were also talking about
Men that I think that men inherently seek a challenge. Men like a challenge. Can we agree with that? Let's forget like
we
women
do
just
want a
in
challenge.
general.
We want a
What
challenge.
Men like a challenge,
and
right?
that's why I figured this out. And it wasn't until I was mid 40s. I couldn't figure out why I find I'm just a drop dead gorgeous girl, and I'd sleep with her too soon, and I wasn't interested.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But it was beyond that. It was like I wasn't emotionally connected. See, guys need to be that too, but guys to have sex with women don't have to be emotionally connected, but to have a relationship. So the girl I met, she was in Tucson, I was in Seattle. We had this 30-day conversation, video, this and that, blah, blah, blah. She flew up and I said, okay, don't hit it. She stayed the night in my bed and we didn't have sex. Mm-hmm. She came back because I liked her. Mm-hmm. I knew if I did, I'd lose interest.
Right. Yeah.
Because I wasn't fully emotionally connected. Mm-hmm. Because and then when she came back, of course, and then we had, because I already had this friendship. So it's friendship first, relationship second. The challenge is when you're local, it's too easy initially because you start dating on a couple of dates, 2-3 dates, boom. Well, were you really friends? You really didn't have time to bond. So there's that element of timing. And I know all the red pill guys, oh, if she doesn't hit it on the second date. Dude, if she hits it on the first, second date, you're done with her. You mentally checked out.
Right.
But I'm more mature.
Right.
That's why I said I left the red pill. I'm more mature to figure it out that I know if I'm not emotionally connected, if I don't have a friendship with you, if me and you were talking for 45 days, and I'm like, man, I really dig this chick. You know, like connected, and we're I'm not golfing, but we go golfing, bowling, whatever we do. And then all of a sudden, it's like we get together, man, we're bonded. Now we're pair bonded. Now we have the pair bonding going on, right? And so it's like, wow, okay, I'm emotionally connected. But if you went on a date or two and you're hot and it's like, man, we had great sex, and then all of a sudden I hear you talking. I never heard her before. See, I didn't have a friendship with you. I didn't have an emotional connection. Mm-hmm. So now it's like, I'm not really interested. And you might not even be interested in me. You might say, this guy's a dick. He's shallow. he's a chauvinist. He's a misogynist, right? Mm-hmm. But you were drinking and you were just whatever.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, you're talking about kind of going off of anecdotal data, and I would just tell you that based on my experience, like my biggest demographic in terms of like my quote unquote fans, I hate even like using that word, or just let's say like even just the men who are attracted to me are men who are like hyper, what I would consider like hyper masculine, red pill guys, ultra conservative guys are like, that's my biggest, like they love me.
Okay. So,
but I'm not the woman that you, like the vast majority of you claim that you want.
Right. They're attracted to you.
Well,
they want to have sex with you.
No. This is where it goes beyond that though.
Do they want to have a relationship with you?
Well, I feel like when men meet me, it's like the thing that might initially attract them is the looks thing, right? But then what happens is when they realize I have a brain and I have all these things.
No, don't say it. But see, now you're insulting men. It's not a brain. It's your mindset.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying that I'm not submissive, right? It goes beyond just the looks thing.
Fit, feminine, submissive, attractive, right? What high value men look for generally.
Right. So I don't really fit the blueprint entirely.
Okay, so that's fine. Mm-hmm. So that in your turn knows that, like I said before in the beginning of the show, then it's like, oh, I'm not going to, because they have options. They have options. So they're going to go, not all red pill guys. I mean, just bear with me, role play with me here. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I got a guy who makes, $500,000 a year. He's red pill. He has a podcast, and he's going to meet a gal, and it's like, no, she's too masculine. I'm going to go with that girl. So he has options. So you can't knock him for that. Just like you have options.
Oh yeah,
you have tons of options. So then,
yeah.
So the guy you end up with is your equal. But what happens is you become taking on that masculine role, and then like I have this gal's coming on, and she's like, oh, I always have to end up taking on these masculine roles. You chose that by the decisions you've made because you're not attracting the high value guy that wants a feminine, fit, attractive, submissive woman. He wants that, you're not that, and you don't want to play that role, which is fine.
Right.
So you go in this role, and then you end up saying, well, I always have to fill in the masculine roles because men aren't masculine. Men aren't masculine these days.
Right.
So it's like, you can't have both. You either got to be in a masculine role and be in a relationship, and I don't want to say just masculine, you whatever, equal or whatever you want to call it, or you go in this role. Mm-hmm. So it's one, or you stay single. You have three options. So I say you're here, here, or here. Neither one of them are better than the other. It's whatever you want, whatever makes you happy as a woman, right? And so it's like, okay, I'm single. Great. You happy? Great. It's 50-50. I take on a masculine role sometimes. You happy? Great. I'm this role. I'm submissive. He's the leader. Great. You happy? Great. Now, if one of those roles don't make you happy to get to the other level, none of them are higher than the other. I'm saying they're all equal because I don't knock anybody. I don't care. But you have to adjust. You have to adjust. This is soccer. This is football. This is MMA. So you can't go in with a soccer cleats on an MMA ring. You have to adjust your game. So this is chess, checkers, and this is Uno. Right? So this, I would say, yeah, this is probably more difficult. It's chess. This is checkers, and this is like Monopoly. Monopoly always ends up in a fight, right? That's why families play Monopoly.
Right.
Boros gets flipped over. I quit.
Right,
You're the
right,
banker. No, whatever. Are you with me? So
Yeah.
I think you have to adjust, and you got to find what works for Bree. And if Bree being happy is here, man, high five, man. I want you happy. So it's what's best for you. And me to judge you and say, well, you're wrong, I can't say you're wrong. It's what you want. Now, if you come to me and say, I don't want this, I want this, well, that's easy.
Right.
Just stay single. I want this. Well, you have to adjust.
But I feel like all I'm saying is that I feel like there are like a lot of men who have similar beliefs that you do. Like I feel like oftentimes I've seen that they have that at home and yet they're still seeking something outside of that. So I feel like if
Yeah,
this is
they're
the thing
they're
that is-
hunters. Yeah, there's some guys that do that and they're exercising their options. That's their choice. I'm not saying I agree with it, but I know what you're saying.
Right. No, it's not even about like for me like agreeing or disagreeing. I challenge the belief that like that's like what kind of fixes everything is having a woman like that at home, because if it did, then they would just be home and satisfied. They wouldn't be out there seeking and looking into their options.
But see, it's not that they're not satisfied. That's
well,
what
if
I
they
keep
were
telling you.
satisfied, why are you looking to exercise your options?
Because it's about variety. That's all it's about in sex. That's how we're built. I'm not agreeing with it. I'm not saying it's right. This is what I'm trying to explain to you. Guys don't cheat because they're not happy. Guys don't cheat necessarily.
Well, some guys,
Some do.
right,
Okay.
yeah, right.
These guys that are, okay, look, first of all, no relationship's perfect. We have our ups and downs, okay? And I call her jumper cables. I put her on my phone one day as jumper. She says, why am I in there as jumper cables? I said, because you're always starting shit, right? So it's a joke. And then she's done the Dora Explorer backpack.
Yeah.
She packed her bags. I'm going to leave. And it's like that 4-year-old on Instagram. She'll be back.
Right, yeah.
She walks down the street, comes back. But here's my point. It's not that they're not happy. See, this is the misconception. It's not, see, you're looking at it from a woman's perspective. A woman, like a majority, now there is 304s. You know what a 304 is. Mm-hmm. You as a woman, I'm not saying you're a 304. If you cheated, it's probably because you weren't happy. It's probably because you got emotionally connected. Majority of guys don't cheat because they're not happy. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. It's just they like variety. It's sex. It's all it is. Now, there is guys that do. And so this is the thing. I'm putting myself in your shoes, your boots. I'd look pretty bad in that dress, okay? That'd be scary.
Yeah.
But if I said, okay, Davrick, I don't agree with you because I'm looking at it from a woman's perspective, me, and if I cheated, it's because I'm not happy. The guys don't necessarily do that. We're a lot dumber, okay? We're a lot dumber.
Your needs are a lot more basic, I would say.
Football, fun, fucking, and food. We're cavemen. We're basic.
Yeah.
We're not. I give women a lot of props. So for guys, it's like you go to that friend's house and the dog's humping your leg.
Right.
Dude, I'm not even. I'm not even a dog.
Right.
He's just horny. Now, I'm not saying I agree with it, but hear me out. Guys, when I've been dating girls when I was younger or when I was in a relationship, I didn't cheat because I wasn't happy. I just wanted to fuck her. Mm-hmm. She's hot. And then,
it's your base instinct at that point, right?
There you go.
But
now, I didn't have the accessibility. Now, oh my God.
Yeah.
Now it's like, now I have more options because I'm at that level where I'm at my peak because I have the resources. I have the ability. I don't have to go to the Cheesecake Factory. And I don't think there's nothing wrong with the Cheesecake Factory. You know the meme that went around.
Yes.
I think it's stupid, but I always use that as a term.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, we can go to Yellowtail at Bellagio. We can go to, whatever, STK, wherever you want to go. But when I was young, I was in better shape. I was better looking, but I was broke. right? Not broke, but I couldn't take a girl to those restaurants. Like, shit, I only got $250 left over for the whole month. I can't go take a girl to a restaurant that's going to cost me $300. So.
Right. I think for me, it always goes back to, I just challenge people to be a bit more like evolved. So I agree with what you're saying. That might just be like the base instinct to kind of like spread your seed and have variety. But I'm always challenging people, men and women, or however the hell you identify these days. Like, I'm always choosing them to go beyond that.
No, I agree.
And I feel like, again, oftentimes, like, I have a lot of guy friends or like men in my life that I consider friends that I've gotten to know, and they've been very honest about me with like whatever their sexual proclivities are. And I always feel like 9 times out of 10, like, there's a reason why they're cheating, and it is beyond just the variety thing.
But
What do we call that? Anecdotal data?
But are they in a relationship?
Most of them, yeah. So I always like try to like.
And how are their girlfriends with you being a friend with them?
Well, I'm not a hot pick. Let's put it that way. I'm not a hot pick.
That's my point, right?
Yeah.
So then maybe that's why they're having problems.
What do you mean?
Well, why are they friends with you and they have a girlfriend?
Well, exactly. Why are you seeking that?
Okay,
is my question.
And these are okay.
And you're saying it's just because you like variety, and I think that in a lot of cases it goes beyond that.
Okay, but here's my point. I don't have girls as friends.
Well, you don't.
Because I'm high
value.
Okay, right. But most guys in my position, here's my point. Okay, I don't want to get down this road, but here, average guys are going to have girls as friends a lot of times. But I find in relationships, it's a detriment to the relationship. You're a nice person. You're a good person. I think you're a great person. I think you got a good spirit. I think your soul's great. You're a good woman. But you being a friend with me is not going to benefit my relationship. It's going to do more detriment because you're an attractive woman. So me knowing that, being in a relationship, why am I friends with you?
Exactly.
Unless one purpose. But even then, at my level, it's like, okay, unless I'm having sex with you, why am I talking to you? No, not to discredit you as a person.
No,
but
that's just it. But they are talking to me, so I wonder why. I have to wonder why, and I think that so then maybe it goes beyond that.
But you're embracing that. You're embracing that, though. You're allowing that.
What do you mean?
You're allowing them to have a relationship with you, knowing that they're in a relationship with a woman.
A friendship, not like a whatever.
Okay, so if they were single, you probably wouldn't date them.
Well, but I'm not dating. They're not single. I'm still not dating them though. So I'm not dating them either way.
Right, but given the opportunity, you know they would have sex with you.
Some of them would, I'm sure.
Okay.
Well, no. Of course, some of them would. I'm just saying that, like, I'm just saying that I think it goes beyond just the attractiveness, though, because especially in Vegas, there's tons of attractive girls way more attractive than I am.
Ready? And they're all on Access Vegas, and none of them have boyfriends. You know why? Because of their mindset. They're in their 30s, and they still think they can get. They're all the same ones.
Well, I think there's a lot. Who knows why they don't have boyfriends?
I know why they don't have boyfriends.
Some of them, sorry guys, but a lot of the chicks that they have on Access are very vapid human beings.
Exactly. And I look at them. Now watch this.
But there's a lot of guys that would fuck them, just like there are a lot of guys that would fuck me. But the attraction is different.
Sign me up.
The attraction is different.
But that's all. But that's all they're worth. And some of them, at my age and my level, I wouldn't even want to have sex with them with somebody else's dick.
Right.
Because it's like, dude, no, no.
So if my worth, I'm saying if my worth goes beyond that because of what I'm bringing to the table, then maybe that's what the guy is attracted to. So it's beyond just
they're going to look at you. Look, you're okay. The bottom line is you're a hot chick. They want to have sex with you.
But I'm saying it must go beyond that. If I'm not the Access Vegas chick, right? And they have hot chicks, they have variety. They have women at home. They have other hot girls.
And you're right. You're not now, but you're 30. In 5 more years, you're going to be like them if you don't prioritize what you want.
But I'm saying that if I'm not letting you have sex with me, right, because you have a girlfriend, but you still want to have a friendship.
I'm not going to have a friendship,
though,
but see, that's his fault and your fault because you're allowing it to happen.
Wait, but why? Well, wait, I'm not saying I have a problematic relationship with these men. I'm saying that I'm not having sex with them and we're friends, and I bring something to the table that someone else does.
I'm in a relationship with you.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess. I'm going to go out there on a limb. You're better looking than their girlfriends.
No. This is what I'm telling you.
Okay. That's your
not across the board. Some of them maybe, but no.
From a woman's perspective.
Yeah.
So if I was in a relationship with you, would you have a problem with me being friends with a hot, attractive chick?
It would depend on. No. It would depend. No, wait, but I feel like you're saying that like for me though.
But it would cause problems. So if it's causing problems in your relationship,
some people's relationships, but it would depend on what the kind of relationship that I had with you. If I felt like you and I were rock solid, and then
if you're rock solid, you wouldn't be talking to another girl.
Why? Because you can't have female.
No, the only reason a guy is friends with a female is because she friend zoned him. Okay, you're an attractive woman. Okay, tell me how do you? And I'm not putting you in a spot. I'm not. This is not about you. How do you rate yourself looks wise?
Oh God, I don't know. Some days a soft 6, other days like a 7.3.
Okay, so let's say 7.5, or you can't use 7. Let's do Kevin Samuels.
Wait, why can't we use 7?
Because that's the safe number.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Kevin Samuels here. So I'm 5's average, 6 is cute. You can't use 7. What do you give yourself?
6.8.
Okay, no, you're an 8 or 9. Okay, so you're an attractive woman. Okay, so being an attractive woman.
Wait, what's a 10?
Well,
how do we go by this?
I don't honestly. This and again, these are just bullshit numbers, but. If you're a 10 and looks, because I'm going on looks, not who you are as a person.
Yeah.
If you're a 10, you're probably making millions of dollars off your looks. You're a supermodel. You're not that a supermodel. Like I think they're too skinny. I'm just talking a woman that you see on Vogue or she's a But like supermodels are too skinny for me. I don't. But you know what I mean. Like Kim Kardashian as a person is I don't. She's been
probably
with so
like
many.
A 0.
Right. But looks wise,
maybe like a 10.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now I think her BBL. I don't like it, but she's surgically made her face symmetrically perfect. She's got a 10 face. Everything else is a 1 or a 0. I agree. So she's making millions of her sisters, right? They're 10. I mean, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so. It's like, okay, so when it goes, all these girls say they're 10. It's like, dude, come on. Like, okay, so you're an 8 or 9, right?
Yeah.
So being that, if you friend zone a guy, there's not one guy that's friends with you that would not want to have sex with you if he given the opportunity.
Well, yeah, given the opportunity. But I'm saying that I feel like you can, I feel like if my value is beyond just like you just said, where you're like, well, you're just going based on like a looks thing. But if you're going about the whole person, like I think your value goes beyond just having sex with somebody.
And that's a relationship. That's different. Dating, right? Sex and dating are two different things.
So you don't think that men and women can just be friends? Like you don't see the value in me beyond just like if you can or can't have sex in me, like we can't have a. Having like a very
We're colleagues, right? We're associates. But me being in a friendship with you, it's like, dude, I'm putting myself in a situation that's going to cause because I'm a guy. I'm like full of testosterone. I'm ready to pounce. Right? I don't put myself in situations where I
Well, if you're going beyond your base instincts, though, that's what I'm saying. If you're challenging yourself and you're going beyond your base instincts and you're evolving as a human, then you could see my value beyond just can you or can you not have sex with me?
Your value can be everything else, but I still want to have sex with you.
Yeah, but I'm saying that like
you're like trying to get rid of the most important thing for a guy. It's like, dude, you can't put a woman like you in front of a guy, especially a guy that's not having sex. And say don't have sex.
No, but we were referring to men who are like in relationships, and you're saying like, well, if they're having like a friendship with you, like
okay, let's go to these guys make over $200K a year. Mm-hmm. Do they?
Sure, yeah.
For the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're exercising their options. That's what they're doing.
You think just by being friends with somebody?
They have accessibility to multiple women. Are they attractive guys?
Most of them I would say are
okay,
but. Again, though, if I'm not giving that to them and they're still coming back to me for to be friends,
right? They're waiting. They're waiting.
What are they waiting for?
They're waiting for an opportunity.
I don't know. I feel like
do you know that 90% of the guys that go into strip clubs are married?
I would assume, yeah.
Why are they going in there?
Because they're looking for something they're not getting at home, or they're looking for variety, or they're looking for a thrill. Probably looking for a thrill. I would assume.
It's a thrill, the experience, the sexual experience, right? Some of them are probably miserable, yeah. But a lot of them are like, I don't want my wife to know.
Right.
Dude, they're going to go home like everything. But here's the thing: as a woman, if your husband goes to a strip club, he's going to go home and tear you up because he's turned on. But that's the thing; it's a variety. It's not that he's not attracted to his wife, right? But I just think you need to look at it. Here's what I want you to do. not literally, because I would never want you to do this, okay? But I want you to put yourself in the mind of a man for a day and just think like a guy does. What is a guy? Because it's hard to say that, because the woman that tried to be a man, she did this for a while and she lived her life as a man. She ended up killing herself because she couldn't handle it. She actually looked like a guy, and she didn't transition. She became a man, acted like a man as an experiment. She couldn't handle the stress and the rejection, and she actually killed herself because it was so difficult being a man. It's very challenging.
I think it's just difficult being a person these days. Or
But you have,
days, really.
but as a woman, and you're not gonna like this, at 18, you have instant value. You have instant value as a woman.
As a breeder?
No, as a woman, you have. It's easy for you to get a date. It's easier for you to find a mate. It's easier for you to be
If you're
successful.
attractive. If you're attractive. What if you're ugly? If you're an
Well,
ugly-
then exactly.
I bet you those women would probably feel the same way as the woman who became a man. They'd say that life is very difficult.
Well, you'd be surprised, because a lot of these, and this is against the red pill, a lot of these women that are overweight, that are unattractive, that guys are like, nobody wants to be with you. No, they still got guys in their DMs. They still got, show me a girl here in the studio, show me a girl out here in public that doesn't have guys in their DMs. If you look in your, I'm not going to look in your DMs.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you, it's probably always got DMs in there, right? And you probably got some followers off this show.
Yeah. I hope so. Hope I
Yeah.
can.
So we need to do part 2.
Yeah, I would love to.
But let's bring on, I like this. This is good. Let's bring on other people with you. Like maybe Lana, or bring somebody else on, or another person. Because I've had Lana on the show. But there's other girls that you know, right?
In general, yeah. I mean, in Vegas, I'm new to Vegas, so I probably don't know a lot of women here, but like.
Yeah, I'll say this. And I was going to go to the dating scene in closing, and then we'll close. Dating in Vegas is very challenging because of the opportunities, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is what I tell men. I tell men, don't date. Okay, Vegas is a B market, size-wise, acting like an A city. So I would never, and I give guys advice to guys all the time on this. Never date in an A market. Don't, and I would only, okay, let me clarify. I'm gonna start over. If you're dating for purpose, this is not the city to date, even as a woman.
Mm-hmm.
If you're dating to have fun and experience life, Vegas is great.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah.
Right? If you're dating for a relationship, I would go to a C market, a small town. And you say that, I'm not talking Farmer John,
No.
but my girl comes from Tucson. There's nothing there but tumbleweeds.
Yeah.
It's an hour from the border. El Paso. Don't go to LA. Don't go to Atlanta. Don't go to Miami. Don't go to New York. Don't go to San Francisco. Don't go to Seattle.
Yeah.
Don't go to Vegas. Because the women have already been alpha widowed, majority of them. I will talk about the term next time. But the goal is find a woman before her pair bonding has been broken and she's been alpha widowed. I want to be the guy that breaks her pair bonding and alpha her, which I did. She's been with 6 guys. She's never been with a guy that's took her to that level where she's like, okay, it's going to be hard to replace him.
Okay.
You know, because for example, if I date somebody, like, not that I would, but I dated a girl that knew Dan Bilzerian was one of his girls. It's like, I can't compete with that shit. She's already been to Dubai. She's been to Playa del Carmen. She's been to Cancun. She's been all over the world. She's been on jets. It's like, dude, there's no experience for her. I took this girl out of Tucson. There's nothing there. She'd been on a plane one time. She didn't know what 6 figures was. Right? And she, like, and I don't want to get personal with you, but I think I saw, and you can tell me if I'm off color here, on your Instagram, you said something about you haven't had sex since 2018 or something like that.
Oh, I had like a 5.5 year like celibate streak. Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I think the red pill guys, if you should have sex. No, if you're waiting for,
Wait, I thought that was like the your big thing was like a
again,
low-
I'm not really a red pill guy. I don't jive with a lot of things they say. They probably don't agree with me. Whatever. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
But the point is that, you know, if I'm not saying sell a bit or give a bit. I'm joking.
Yeah.
But don't hold out. Like, if you're going to go into a relationship, don't say I'm not going to have sex and you've been with a guy for months. Like, no, don't do that. But if you're dating for purpose, right? Biblically, don't have sex, but in reality, yeah, have sex with a guy. But I'm not saying go out and start banging a bunch of dudes,
Right.
Because your probability of having a sexual relationship because of pair bonding, your oxytocin levels, it goes low. It's harder to bare bond because you've been with so many guys, right? So it's harder to have that connection. And I'm saying like what you did, and most guys would say, "Oh, she's celibate. Don't be celibate." It's like, dude, you telling her to be a 304? You don't like a 304, but you want to be celibate. What do you want?
Right.
So
yeah.
when you're ready for a relationship, yeah, I'm not saying hold out on the dude for 6 months.
Oh no. Yeah.
So, but at the same time, if you're dating for purpose, then you meet the guy, yeah. But if you're just dating and you're like, I kind of like this guy, we're going to date a little bit, but I'm really not into him. Well, let him know, but at the same time, don't be just giving it up.
No, yeah.
Because the problem here in Vegas, you get on a girl's Instagram, right? She's connected to 30 dudes
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, before we and you connected on IG, you were connected to everybody I knew.
Probably, yeah.
Vegas is a big, small town. Too small to be a big city, too big to be a small city.
It's like
and everybody knows
town,
everybody, and everybody's in the same spot, and everybody's in everybody's business, and you hear rumors. And we moved way up north to get out of the scene, but like we've had rumors about us that aren't true, and it's like whatever. But like I said, when I connected with you, it's like this would be a good conversation.
Yeah.
You bring some valid information. You have a podcast. You're a smart girl. I watched her. I was like, you know what? She's actually good for this show.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
it was good. It was good. I think we should have part 2. The return of Bree, right?
Yeah.
Bree Hunter, the revenge, right?
The return of
Empire
Bree,
Strikes
like that.
Back. So what do we got? We got one more question. I don't know what that means.
What does it say?
I don't know. I don't understand what he's saying. This guy acting like a glazed donut. I don't know what that is.
Oh,
Anyway,
glazed donut, like a slut. He's saying you've been like it's like a glazed donut. It's like you've been like
he said,
someone came all over
dude, you need to get out there. I'm acting like a glazed donut.
oh he's acting like a glazed donut.
I don't know what that means.
I'm not sure.
I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, man, thanks for coming on the show. Let's get you back out here in maybe a month or so, or
Yeah, I love it. Let's do it again.
and then I'll go on your show if you want or not. But and then maybe have you and Lana come on. That'd be good, right?
Yes.
There'd be some fireworks. Lana was on my show before. She's cool.
She's super cool.
She didn't like me until she met me, and then she liked me, and then she came on her show, and it was cool. And now on her show, it was cool.
Well, Lana always says, like, I feel like she doesn't agree with you guys on, like, a lot of things, but she likes all of you. Truly.
But here's the thing. This is the funny thing. I'm glad you said that in closing. A lot of us don't agree with each other 100%.
Sure, yeah.
Even the Red Pill guys.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 90% in agreement with Andrew Tate, 10% of shit I don't agree with. Probably Rollo and Michael, same thing. It doesn't mean we're bad people. It doesn't mean I don't like their content. Rollo's like, we call him the professor. Michael's like Rain Man. He's like Ray from Rain Man, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's super smart, intelligent. Rollo's like the professor.
Yeah.
Those guys have wisdom I don't have. But there's probably 10% or 20% of things I don't agree with, but it doesn't mean I don't like them. Mm-hmm. So we're not all on the same, nobody's on the same page.
Right.
I think if you're on the same page and agree 100% with everybody, you're like a pick-me girl or a groupie or,
Yeah.
So,
I would think so, yeah.
I mean, yeah, but anyways. Well, hey, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Guys, make sure you follow Bree on her Instagram. And make sure, there it is right there, Bree Hunter. Bree Hunter. At Bree Hunter on Instagram. Make sure you go subscribe, follow her, go to her YouTube, subscribe to this channel, share this video, like this video, and make sure you hit the bell for notifications.